guys. Welcome back to Truth and Transparency. Tonight, Friday, May 29th. All day, yeah. Friday, May 29th. A lot of people closing out the school year. So cheers to you and yours. If your little ones, medium-sized ones, large ones, graduated some special grade, or maybe some of you guys are sending off your kids to prom. I know the Boston area, we had some proms. So again, welcome back. Idaho4, we have breaking news. We did get some more documents. And the title of this episode is Cellibrite Never Used on Roommates' Phones. Wait till we see this. We're going to jump right into it. First of all, I want to thank the moderators ahead of time. They always do a great job. Anyone that's a subscriber of the channel, thank you. It is completely free to be a subscriber. Just click that the button that says subscribe. And would you believe it? It is free. And then if you want to donate to the channel, you can become a member. Also, if you can't afford to become a member, make sure that you have your membership acceptance little click button on. And then when people give away memberships, you can snatch one up. All right. Again, thank you. Here we go. I went over all the documents, and we're going to start with this one because it's the most explosive. And we had our first look at this. Is Ann Taylor filed this. Now, can you guys believe this? When Ann Taylor filed this was January 9th of 2024. So an entire year had passed. Like, look at Becca Barlow is on, okay? And this was a exhibit she was showing 1, 2, and 3 in support of objection to state's motion in limine. And it was about this admissibility of the demonstrative exhibits. So she's saying attached here is Exhibit 1, which is the defendant's 11th supplemental request for discovery. And I'm like, oh my God, hell yeah. Because this is what I've always said I needed. I just needed to know what Ann Taylor was going after in her supplementals 1 through 24. I could tell you everything about where Ann was headed based on her requests. What's up? 1 second here. We had a really important business to decide right there. Okay, so Exhibit 1, again, defendant's 11th supplemental request for discovery. Included in this is the response that the state gave. And she didn't just like clip a little piece of it. So the reason that we get this a hell of a lot earlier than we would ever have normally got it is because she used it as an exhibit. We wouldn't have been able to see this like until Hilper would be getting into, so let me show you. This is an email chain also between Ashley Jennings, aka Ashley Thompson, and Bill Jennings and Ann Taylor, and then an email chain between Bill Thompson and Ann Taylor regarding the new discovery disclosures. Look at when she, this was dated 17th day of March of 2025. The reason being is because this is a motion in limine, and that's when they were doing that. And this is to keep the demonstrative exhibit of using like the 3D model. And we're going to understand a lot more when we see this. So again, this was filed March of 2025. But the exhibit, this one is from January 9th of 2024. Remember when Hitler tried to give Ann Taylor, tried to punk her and say, well, you had all this time to do X, Y, and Z. Now you want to just, and he was going to let this exhibit in, this demonstrative aid, which is the house, the 3D model of the house. Now, Ann Taylor is like, first of all, please take notice. This is the defendant's 11th supplemental request for discovery. It was under seal. Now it's not. Do you see here? It starts on number 219. So what we can ascertain here is that 1 through 219, those requests are going to be found in supplementals 1 through 10, because this is supplemental 11, and 11 picks up at 219. Now, I don't know if she would have renumbered these at some point after 10 and then went back to 1. I doubt it, right? So how I'm using my brain is that it's just 1 to 218 would be in the first 10 supplemental requests. So here in this request, the reason that she's attaching it is because she wants us to look at, she wants Hippler to look at number 241. I'm going to go there first and then I'm going to come back so you guys can understand the motion. Right here, it says copies of all 3D scans and photographs completed by the FBI and ISP during their visit to 1122 King Road on October 31st to November 1st of 2023. Okay. Remember when they went back there after Brian waived his right to a speedy trial? So, and she wanted copies of everything to include all scans and photographs of the residents and surrounding areas. And then what she also then included is the state's response here. So what the state then did is they took Ann Taylor, whatever she asked for, how she did it, like here we get to 219. And then their answer would be right below here. So for the sake of me completing out the 241, take a look here, number 241, and copies of all 3. This is their answer. The state believes. Remember I told you about that word believes? Fuck that word, believes. That's ridiculous. The state believes that AV000843 contains the 3D scans. However, it requires proprietary software, which the state does not have, in order to review. So the state has never looked at these. The state has not received any other materials related to the October 31st to November 1st, 2023 ISP FBI visit to date. Do you guys understand that this is January 9th of 2024, and they just had done this October 31st, November 1st. Why did the state? So what Ann Taylor is pointing out to Hippler here is we asked for this a long time ago. Okay. The state has never gotten into it. The state said that they will, when these materials exist, they will turn them over to us. They never did. They never did. Then Ashley Jennings wants to write this email, which is out of the blue. You know, hey, Taylor, what's up, girl? You know, she's on the bottom. So it goes like this, because Ann's responded, Ann, we would like to use a scale 3D model of the residents at trial. We anticipate this will be on wheels and each of the residents' floors will detach. I have included a picture of the model, a picture of it. Would you stipulate to the entry of this model? We intend to file a motion with the court for its use. Thanks. Let me know, Ashley. Anne says, well, this was, mind you, February 3rd of 2025. Anne says, hi, Ashley. I am surprised to see this email. I did not see this 3D model drawing in Discovery, nor did I see it in expert disclosures. I need a lot more information, and I need to see this in person. Do you understand that Hippler should have denied this request on its face? Ann Taylor provides, now, do I think that she does a good enough job of like telling Hippler where to go? Absolutely not. I would have said number 241, okay, but she's over here probably looking at like, I'm going to oral argue this, you know, but I would never, no, I'm going to, because he's going to read it beforehand and he's already going to be miffed. You know what I mean? Because Hippler needs everything. He's like a cuck. He just treat him like a princess. You literally have to walk these judges to point A to point B to point C, and you have to treat them like they're in third grade. I'm telling you, I've learned a lot over the years, and we just think that you guys, they do so many cases. We think that they know what we know. They just don't. Sorry. So here, Anne doesn't say, hey, look at 241. She just attaches this whole Discovery 11, and Hitler's not going to go through that. But 241 is so important because this is exactly, you had to, copies of all 3D scans and photographs completed by the FBI and ISP during their visit. She's asking for that. And then here, Ashley saying, I believe that they're, I believe. The state believes AV00843 contains the 3D scans. However, it requires proprietary software, which the state does not have in order to review. So the state never saw these. The defense wasn't given these proprietary software to look at them. Okay. So neither the state has looked at this. This is important. And neither has the defense and then says the state has not received any other materials related to the October 31st, November 1st. And so what that would mean is that when you do receive them, because that's what you would have needed to go ahead and create your 3D model that you already built. The bitch already built it. An expert would have had to build it, right? And so who's testifying to this? It should have been an expert disclosure. And it should have been and that's what she was explaining to Hitler. And Hitler should have been yeah, no, this is out. This isn't coming in. Discovery, wait, what's going on here? This isn't. And then if we actually go back and we listen to what that Jack fuck said, this is ridiculous. Anyways, the bottom line here is that Ann Taylor says 241, but she doesn't say 241. She just includes it all. And they never opened it. They're admitting right here that the state, we don't have this proprietary software in order to review that material. So that in order to give it to somebody to work on it. Unbelievable. Anyways, this should have been flat out denied. Unbelievable. I'm so surprised to see this email. I did not see the 3D model drawing. I need a lot more information, and I need to see this in person, likely with an expert. I cannot stipulate. But exactly, you're not going to stipulate to something. Are you high? Especially without full discovery and expert opinion. Please provide all materials as well as when and where the model is available for our viewing. And then this is Billy Boys. And March 13th. And there is a hard drive ready for you to pick up. This includes the information you requested regarding the house model. Ridiculous. Okay, so that's how we scored this a lot earlier than we would have ever gotten it. So let's go take a look at now. Going to go back to where home tits here. I'm going to just use the state's response because everything's on it then. First page right here is all audio to all video available from 1112 King. This is being requested on January 9th, 2024, including from 11/13/2022 at 12:55 a.m. through 11/17. Audio has only been provided from 11/13/2022 at 2:25 to 12:05 the next day. We are seeking all audio and video that exists from this camera. All audio, all video. We are missing sound on 11/13/2022, 12:55 to 2:25. 11/13/22, 12:05 p.m. through 11/17 at 17:22. We're missing all of that. Based upon information we have reviewed in Discovery. So that means that they've seen something. We believe there is video footage prior to 12:55 on 11/13. So, ready? What does this mean for us? What does this mean for everybody? Absolutely, there would be. You want to know why? Because we have discrepancies on when people were coming home to that house. And so therefore you need to go out and get this camera footage before 12:55 a.m. And Ann Taylor's over here saying whatever she had seen leads them to believe that there is video footage prior to 12:55 in the morning. We are requesting all footage, audio and video that exists from the King Road camera prior to 12:55. Detective Mowry is currently in the process of manually extracting all audio and video available from 1112 King Road. The state has been advised this is a lengthy process. The state will provide this information to the defense when it is available. Most important thing you need to take from this is that was a typo with writing 2023, is that the state couldn't have reviewed the material. Do you understand that? The state couldn't have reviewed the material. They just told us this is a lengthy process. What Ann Taylor is asking for, they don't have. They haven't reviewed it. By way of explanation, there are two data sets for the videos. Original data extraction from the SD card image, and two is videos downloaded from the camera after seizure of the device. The forensic software used to extract the video from the SD card resulted in no audio. The forensic software used to extract the video from the SD card resulted in no audio, i.e., this is where the 2 a.m. is located. We are currently working to find software that can parse this data with the audio. Regarding the audio for 12:55 hours on 11/13/2022, or 20, it's supposed to say 2022, this is related to a file name in the screenshot, and then boom. This video was extracted from the original SD card image using DVR examiner forensic software. And as explained above, no audio was extracted. Until software is located that can parse this data with audio, we cannot produce the audio. Then Ann Taylor says, well, I don't know what they're saying, 220, what the fuck is, what? Gosh, idiots. Okay, complete copy of SD card. This was provided to defense on the hard drive provided on 4/5/2023. That was one of the first hard drives. Right there, file names SD card 1. This was a complete copy of the SD card. Well, I would want, where's the SD card? 221. Surveillance camera footage from Latah County courtroom from the 10/26 hearing. I said, ooh, Ann Taylor going and seeking out, we're going to get our hands on this. Ann Taylor wanted the court, she wanted the surveillance. Basically, she wanted to know what was going on outside the courtroom that day. They had a hearing, and I think I know why. She's saying, I'm sorry, the state is saying we're going to be putting it on, it's going to be labeled as 856, and it should be on next week's hard drive. Okay. Do you know how many hard drives are being passed around? And right here, 222, follow up on investigation related to Shannon Gray media sources. This is what it has to do with. The state has requested ISP Supplement 199 and will discover upon receipt. Ann Taylor, remember, remember when the Gonzalez's used their Facebook page and they were talking about the grand jury? They also took clips, I believe, from the news that every time the Gonzalez would speak and the stuff that they were saying, it's like, where'd they get this information from? Where'd they get this information from? Okay. Because I think Ann Taylor would rather handle like this. I don't want to, call people's parents to the stand. Right? Like, where are you getting this information from? So I think there was a conversation had about that. But again, follow up on investigation related to Shannon Gray media sources. Because there was how do you have grand jury material, right? There was other things as well. And then if you see that's back to back with the surveillance camera footage from the Latah County courtroom from 10/26 hearing, I also think it has to do with, is that one of the days that somebody was wearing something inappropriate? I don't know. Now, identity of all certified CastViz users within the Moscow Police Department and certifications. Remember, this is being requested January 9th, 2024, a year after Brian's arrest. The answer was forensic detectives Lawrence Mowry and Andrew Fox are the current certified CastViz users at Moscow Police Department. Their certificates have been discovered as Bates pages right there. CastViz logs showing the date and time when Officer Mowry examined the records, as he documents in his 5/3/2023 supplemental report. Boom, that told me that Ann Taylor was on what I was on back then. I was like, hey, this is so vague and ridiculous. But look at this. She's asking for this this report in January of 2024. And so I'm just so curious of when she got this supplemental report. I mean, man. The state has been advised that CastViz does not produce logs. Where is there any conversations with that? Anyways, any exhibits, like there should be emails. We're going to ask for a bunch of emails between Ann Taylor and people. Any exhibits created by Mowry while using the CastViz program during this examination with dates and times they were created. Where are those? This exhibit 48 provided with the grand jury documents from the court on July 3rd, 2023. So there's an exhibit, and guess what? We're going to be able to get our hands on this because the state, right before trial was supposed to start, they went ahead and adopted all of the grand jury exhibits into the case file. So then all those grand jury exhibits, they can't be sealed because they should be available for us to get in like a request, because they had to put those on the record, and once they adopted them, they're in. That's my understanding. Now, then Ann Taylor says all information, documents, and data related to the AT&T Hemisphere program. Now, she's getting this information, by the way, this stuff right here, this is all, she's getting all this information from Cyray. This is what you need to ask for. Okay. So all information, documents, and data related to the AT&T Hemisphere program, also known as Data Analytics Services, in the investigation of the homicides at 1122 King Road in Moscow, Idaho, and or the investigation of Brian Kohlberger and or his prosecution. This request includes, but is not limited to, the identity of any and all law enforcement, including the FBI cast member or members or other official who participated in the investigation related to this program, the date and time of the query or record requested, or any other access to AT&T or through AT&T programs. Digital copies of all data provided as a result of the request. So size, I believe, telling her to ask for that. The state has been advised that these records do not exist. So what this is doing is it's giving a process of elimination, I believe, for someone like a Cyray to eliminate where they could have possibly gotten information to be able to speak on anything in a probable cause and to be able to speak on anything. I mean, that's what everything's based on, right? You're talking about coming up on suppression hearings and stuff. So, those just don't exist. AT&T specific record of all inquiries made by any person, entity, governmental agencies, or internal software program pertaining to the AT&T phone number 509. I'm like, oh my God, look at this. This is exactly what we've been like. Hey, what's going on here? Like, this is not, why don't you have any of his shit? The date of the request, law enforcement official making the request, a complete copy of all data as a result of the request. Well, this is Exhibit 47 provided with the grand jury documents from the court on July 3rd, 2023. In addition, the state has provided the following. You can go to these Bates pages. You can go to these Bates pages. You can go to these, and it's reminding them when it was discovered. And this one. Okay. A complete copy of all materials relied upon by, this was asked on in one of the hearings, by Corporal Brett Payne in his affidavit for the search warrant to AT&T, second warrant, issued on 12/23/2022 at 16:53 hours by Judge Megan Marshall. This request includes, but is not limited to, all notes, emails, and reports from all law enforcement, including FBI special agent that specialized in cell site location. The state has provided everything in its possession or control, right there, in its possession or control, that is required by Idaho. That's basically saying, we've given you everything that we have. Clearly, if we're talking about the FBI, you need to go somewhere else, right? The state has been advised that the FBI relied upon the search warrant return from AT&T to provide additional information to Corporal Brett Payne for his affidavit. So the state has been advised that the FBI relied upon the search warrant return from AT&T to provide additional information to Corporal Brett Payne for his affidavit. And then you're going to show the time frame between that. The state will need to request emails in the FBI's possession via the TUI process. The Office of General Counsel will review and respond accordingly. Okay. All information, documents, and data related to mobile advertiser identification number that's made inquiries relating to the investigation of the homicides at 1122 King Road in Moscow, blah, blah. Disclosure of any research and or inquiry that was done utilizing a database to determine location information in any format of any mobile device. This request includes reverse geofence searches of made data, direct location search related to made data, any search to discover mobile device MAC identifiers, any search that would produce any location data of any mobile device done outside of a previously disclosed search warrant. Right there. Any search that would produce any location data of any mobile device done outside of a previously disclosed search warrant. What's the TUI process? It has to do with the feds. It's just you have to write a letter to them in order for them to turn over any of their reports. Okay. Yeah. This is we are chopping off your legs, we're chopping off your arms, we're chopping off your hands, we're chopping off your feet. And we're just going to leave just a nice piece of, a torso. Okay. This is, again, how'd you get to Brian Kohlberger? We have been informed, says the state, that the FBI will produce this item in redacted, in redacted form to protect unrelated parties to the investigation. The only made inquiry was to cobwebs for devices around the crime scene. Address on 11/22/2022 to 11/13/2022. No devices of interest resulted from the search. The state will produce the redacted form upon receipt. And it's like, what? Maybe of interest to who? To your guys's, very specific type of investigation that you're just, we're not going to give you the information of these other people. What are you talking about? I think this is crazy. But to them, nothing, like it didn't, nothing, there's nothing there. Then Ann Taylor says, number 230, complete corrective actions log as indicated by Riley Nolan's email that would be available electronically. Like if she's going to correct something, right? And it says that this should be on next week's hard drive. Yearly audit reports for ISP Forensic Laboratory for 23, 22, 21. Idaho State Police Forensics Lab accreditation. Most recent full report. Didn't have any of that. Now, I know people are going to go crazy about this one. Missing records for Kaylee Gonsalves U of I file. Documentation appears to be missing from what we have been provided. Letter from Olivia Gonsalves, missing pages. So there's a letter from Olivia. And the defense believes that there's missing pages. And then it says, see Bates page, 14,004. And I'm like, interesting. Interesting that there would be a letter in her file. If it's not related to this case, you know what I'm saying? The University of Idaho has advised that this item does not exist. They have no record of the previous page in their system. Yep, I believe that. But I mean, basically, they're probably looking at documents, right? And how I would be able to tell if something's missing is if I'm reading a sentence and then the next page doesn't make sense. Like there's stuff missing because this can't possibly go with that last paragraph I just read or that last sentence or something like that. But according to the U of I file, now 234 is complete recordings from Mary Ann Culver's contacts with all law enforcement, including state and local police and the FBI, including direct interviews and any recordings and all transcripts made. Ann Taylor didn't have this, and it was January of 2024. Just saying. and it should be on next week's hard drive. Defense was previously provided grand jury transcripts. Well, what grand jury transcripts? The grand jury transcripts from, they didn't testify. What grand jury transcripts? What grand jury did they testify at? So then that got me thinking, right? What grand jury? Like that would not be placed there unless the Kohlbergers testified at a grand jury. Again, complete recordings from Marianne Kohlberger's contacts with all law enforcement, including state and local police, and the FBI, including direct interviews and any recordings and all transcripts made. Complete recordings from Marianne Kohlberger's contacts with all law enforcement. Now, it's interesting to me. It's interesting. It's so interesting because Ann Taylor is really specific to mention when she's asking for something that she's saying in the Brian Kohlberger investigation. Okay. She doesn't say that here. She wants her complete recordings from Marianne Kohlberger's contacts with all law enforcement, including state and local police and the FBI, including direct interviews and any recordings and all transcripts made. Anybody else think that maybe just Ann didn't just write for this case? Does anybody else think that could be something else there? The reason I'm going to say it is if you go back here, right here, it's saying all information, documents, and data related to the mobile boom inquires investigation of the homicide. See, of the homicides that it's being very specific. So here, it's just Marianne Kohlberger, whatever you guys have for Marianne Kohlberger, we want. And then this one, for this to be the answer, that's also like defense was previously provided grand jury transcripts. And they discovered those grand jury transcripts on 12/4/2023. So what do you guys think? Again, remember there was like that rumor going around that Kohlberger's parents testified in front of the grand jury? And people thought it was for like the Dana Smithers. When Dana Smithers was, her body was recovered. Remember that? What if it wasn't for that? So that, like literally when I mark up my papers, okay, the biggest red star went next to that. I said, I don't know, something just seems off to me with that. You know, doesn't ask for the dad shit, right? Anyways, just want to know your guys' thoughts on that. Okay. Next, Ann Taylor was asking and seeking for complete recordings for Amanda Kohlberger's contacts with all law enforcement. And then nothing from the other sister, nothing from the dad. So Ann Taylor's over here, it seems like, hey, I'm going to look up on, I'm going to keep a really close eye here on your sister, your one sister and your mom. What do you guys think? I'm just asking. There's a rumor out there that Brian Kohlberger's sister is and was this basically the person that turned him in, allegedly, supposedly. Now, 236, unredacted and redacted. This is Bates pages 15,221 to 15,248, numerically missing from sequence. So Ann Taylor's like, we're missing these numbers. We don't know what they are, but we're missing them. And it seems like maybe some of these are redacted. But basically, or she's asking for them unredacted and redacted. Like we want it all. This item does not exist, they say. Defense was provided Bates pages 5221 to 5248 on 11/15/2023. Again, I don't know if that's a typo. It's got to be a typo, yeah. No, it's got to be not a typo because they wouldn't have been provided anything in 2022. And downloaded the same day. Those pages are marked created in error. So those pages, they're saying that they don't exist because it was like created in error because it was the defense was provided those and downloaded the same day. Those pages are marked created in error. Unredacted pages 650 to 6. So that's like almost 50 pages. We received redacted copies of these pages on 3/20/2023. This item should be on next week's hard drive. Whatever this is, they received they received redacted copies. What are you redacting? In a murder case during discovery, like what? I thought they had a ton of protective orders. Anyways, same thing here. She's asking for unredacted photos. We received redacted copies of these photos on 5/29/2023. After, look at this, after they indicted him, secret grand jury. I mean, we're talking, look at, like, I mean, I don't know, close to, let's see, 40, I don't know, maybe 60 some pages. This item should exist next week. Don't worry, we'll get you those. Okay. Then 240. Okay. 240 was, she said, this was Anne asking, all of the linked media subfolders are empty. Whatever was in this folder, it's empty. Okay. The state does not have this item in its possession. MPD received these subfolders from Facebook empty. What? Very curious about that. I want to know what they were preserving. What was this about? Now we get to that 241 one, which we already talked about, which is the scans. Now 242. Updated, Anne's asking for updated / complete cast report. Cast report provided to the defense was labeled draft date 7/10/2023 and included no expert analysis. The state says the state has been advised that this item exists in draft form and the final report is pending peer review. How long did it take to peer review this? Just curious. They asked for this January of 2024. It still wasn't completed in like 2025. Like, give me a break. Lies. 243. All materials related are relied on or referenced in creating the cast report. This request includes, but not limited to, the FBI Special Agent Nicholas Balance's documentation, notes, reports, and copies of materials used in his investigation and analysis. The state has been advised that the FBI relied upon records obtained for the 8458 obtained via search warrant. Test drive, it was drive test data, and tower list data. All of these items, with the exception of item 251 and the tower list, have been previously disclosed to defense. Item 251 and the tower list have been requested and will be disclosed upon receipt. Oh my God, they didn't have the tower list? They didn't have the tower list yet? Oh my God. Oh my God. It's 2024 January. Copies of investigative reports, lab reports, photographs, chain of custody records, and or other documents that exist related to the analysis of soil recovered from a shovel found in Mr. Culver's vehicle. And then they say, photos, these should be on next week's hard drive. Bates should be on next week's hard drive. Copies of investigative reports, lab reports, photographs, chain of custody records, and or any other documents that exist related to the collection and analysis of the same soil recovered from 6 different sites in Moscow by Detective Payne on 8/2/2023. It's Supplemental Report 227. So here we go. So 227. She had that. Affidavit in support of T-Mobile search warrant. Now, this is important. This is T-Mobile search warrant. I'm going to explain how this works with this. Now, you have to remember, there's a couple people that obviously had T-Mobile as their provider. Okay? Back, like people that lived at the home, even people that were friends of theirs, T-Mobile. So the first request here is we would like to see the affidavit in support of T-Mobile search warrant. It's really kind of just bland, but that's why I'm guessing it's just the original. And see how early on those Bates pages are? Then there's Bates pages here, like 14. Like, look at those. And that's just all it says for that. Then 247, copy of records referenced in Moscow Police Report 250, authored by Corporal Brett Payne. Copy of records referenced in Moscow Police Report 250, authored by Brett Payne. Well, let's just fucking pull up 250. Let's see what that was about, right? Let's see. 250. We'll just read it. Oh, there we go. 250. That is on Tuesday, November 14th, 2023. Detective Sergeant Gilbertson from ISP provided me with a thumb drive of the .3D scans from the .3D scans from 1122 King Road in LAS format. I booked the thumb drive into MPD evidence this same day. Reference ISP supplemental D22-30, supplemental 197. On the same date, I received an email from Depp Olson from LCSO containing an attachment of the dog impound form, 11/13/2022. I printed this copy and booked it into MPD evidence the same day. Ann Taylor. Copy of records referenced in Moscow Police Report 250, authored by Corporal Brett Payne. She wants somebody just to go. AV843 and AV844 discovered on 12/4/2023. Copies of all mapping data collected by FBI Special Agent Nicholas Balance and Special Agent Sean Kennedy during all driving tests conducted between November 16th and January 6th. This request includes, but is not limited to, any and all mapping from Moscow areas south of So look at this, discovered on, look at that. Ready? Then she, I think, turns around and uses this and hands this to Maori and says, mapping data collected. What is that a map of? Who did that? Where'd you get that from? Because I think that that map matches the one that Maori put in. That's just my guess. That's my guess. What do you guys think? This is in January of 2024. What do you think? Do you think that she asked for this? Any and all mapping from Moscow, areas south of Moscow, Poland, blah, blah, blah. All data, including mapping data, notes, and reports for any drive testing conducted after January 6th. This is after January 6th. Discovered on 5/18. Do you guys see how this is all right around? Look at that. This was turned over right after the indictment. Copies of all training and certification records for Nick Balance and Sean Kennedy to the Gladiator. The state does not have custody or control over these records. The FBI has informed the state that such records demands for training materials are routinely made and routinely denied. Thus, the defendant's request for such a broad swath of training materials involving techniques, technologies, and often completely unrelated to this case, is overly broad. This would be about this case, I would think, though. Copies of the calibration record of the who do you think is asking for this, Cyrate, used during the drive test that occurred between November 16th and January 6th? Because he wants to know why stuff is missing, right? The state has requested these items from the FBI and will discover upon receipt. Now, all case communication and correspondence for case this is a completely different case number. Ann Taylor is asking for a completely different case number. Why? The basis for this request is as follows. On Bates page stamped pages that to that, there were only ISPFSLIMS reports of case correspondence listed in the communications log for this case, a different case. Since this case was cross-linked to an additional case number, this one right here, we request all case communication and correspondence for lab case number this. They wanted to see if they were using, seeing if stuff got put under a different case number with the lab work. Mm-hmm. That's funny. Then she does the same thing with this case. Missing case communications and correspondence with this. And again, she's saying that on Bates Sam's page is this. There is one email log entry by Haley that describes multiple emails sent in efforts to coordinate AFIS search submissions with DHS, DOJ, and California DOJ. These emails have not been provided in discovery material received by the defense. The state has requested these items. We'll give them, we'll turn them on over to you when we can. Remember how we got these emails that we're looking at? All these emails associated? I bet you there's a shit ton more. Ann Taylor got these because of this. The email associated with this page, blah, blah, blah. And she's saying at 11:16 from Tina Waltall to forensic lab manager Riley Nolan. Going on. It's missing. And then Bates page does not exist. They say Bates, this contains an email from Riley Nolan to several lab staff members, including Tina. That appears to correspond with this log entry. Okay, well, fucking what? Again, she's going through all the Bates pages, meaning all the discovery that she provided us, and some of them have, if this is right, this is 143,367. That's the page number that they're on. on Bates Stamps page. Look at this, 143,367. There is a blank area underneath the log entry. This does not exist. This to this are emails between Jade and Bill Thompson that appear to correspond with this log entry. Bates page, this does not exist. Bates is this reference an email with Jeff Talbot. Bates page does not exist. This appears to be a discovery packet printed for the grand jury. A discovery packet. Interesting. I don't know if this is Ann Taylor's way of saying, like, do you see what we're seeing here? You know what I mean? I don't know. What is up? What is up, my man? How you been? Okay. Now we get to Lana. What does your thing have anything to do with? Full file system. Ann Taylor asks on January 9th for the full file system, which is the extraction from Bethany Funk's cell phone. Okay, right here. See this? I lost it. Lost it with 254. An advanced logical extraction was the only extraction completed on the phone, as the full file extraction process was not available in-house at the time MPD extracted the phone. You guys, this is absolutely fucking crazy. We don't care what MPD did on the 13th when you had him in there for 10 minutes. Okay, nobody gives a shit. You have search warrant power, subpoena power. You also interviewed these people on the 16th and then the 17th. They never, ever, ever, ever got into Bethany's phone or said, here we go. We're going to take this. On the 13th, when they asked that day, okay, that day, like, oh, so we can download this really quick. We just did right here. All we did was an advanced logical extraction. That's the only thing. That's why it says advanced logical extraction only is what was previously provided to the defense. Well, the state comes back and says, well, an advanced logical extraction was the only extraction completed on the phone, as the full file extraction process was not available in-house at the time MPD extracted the phone. Do you guys understand? Do you guys understand this? This is fucking crazy. It gets worse. It gets worse. Oh, how about Dylan? What do we got for her? The defense has only previously been provided an Axiom report generated by law enforcement. We are seeking the data used to produce this report. The phone data was extracted using the Axiom instead of Cellibrite, UFED. Let me get this straight. You brought in the Barnharts and all these other people to fucking work on just one phone, but you didn't use Cellibrite to work on any. What? What about when somebody wasn't found? So there was a person on the loose for 7 weeks. 7 weeks. 7 fucking weeks. We don't need anybody. Advanced logical extraction, quick image zip was the only extraction completed on the phone, as the full file extraction process was not available with in-house forensic software at MPD at the time. It doesn't matter what the hell you had at the time of March or November 13th, 2022. You interview them on the 16th and the 17th. You don't even need to interview them to go get, you don't have probable cause to get in their phones? You don't have probable cause to get search warrants for their phones? Did you ask them for their phones after the 13th and they said fucking no? And told you to go get a search warrant? To assist with data examination, Axiom Quick Image has been parsed by UFED and provided as AV000852, which should be available on next week's hard drive. What? It should be. So, how about the full file system extraction for Eric Gower's cell phone? Again, advanced logical extraction only is what was previously provided to the defense. And they say, well, duh, because the advanced logical extraction was the only extraction completed on that phone, as the full file extraction process was not available in-house at the time MPD extracted the phone. That makes absolutely no sense when you say that you have the FBI there and all their fucking resources and tools, and y'all got paid $1 million to do this fucking bullshit. This is Tina with What the Fuck Transition Services. What the fuck is going on? It's WTF. This is Tina with WTF. No wonder why my question was going to be asked if I ever had the opportunity. I said, I want to ask the Barnhart some questions, and I want to ask them, were they ever given anybody's phones besides Brian Kohlberger's? No, they weren't, because they didn't have it. This is crazy. This is unbelievable. No, all these excuses that Maury couldn't do this stuff when the FBI could have done it all. And that's what they were there to do. And I thought they were co-located. I'm starting to think that they weren't co-located. Right? Remember this big old thing that everybody was just co-located and like, oh yeah, everybody was just hanging out in the same office space. Why did they come in from Salt Lake City to help to do what? And to use what? What? You guys, they were driving every other day, if not every day. Multiple times, everybody was making a trip. They were going to CDA. They were going over to Washington. They were driving all over. How the fuck do you have two people that say that they slept through their roommates being, murdered? But then you also have them saying, I don't know, I kind of was up during it. How aren't one of the most important things in this case the roommates' phones? If there was ever a case where a phone would be so important, don't you think this case would be that? Also, they act like they couldn't have asked them for their phones on the 16th and the 17th because they needed to do what they did with Jack D. They asked for his phone again. That's normal. You know how many times people won't ask for your phone right away because they want you to use it for a couple of days and then they ask for it? Unbelievable. Just absolutely unbelievable. But here's they are like, we didn't have it. What do you mean you didn't have it? What are you talking about? You're sending, because we're going to get into further here. Then they're asking for, we would like a full file system extraction for Kaylee's phone after it has been unlocked. Here's the proof that it's been locked and you can't get into it. Okay. The defense has been provided an extraction with user data encrypted due to the phone being locked. There is additional information stored in an unencrypted area on the phone that has not been provided. Whoo. Please let us know what the current status of the phone is and if steps are still being taken to unlock the device. This is January of 2024, a whole year later. MPD is still waiting on updates and or support from forensic software providers that will hopefully allow extraction of Kaylee's phone. You are supposed to be working with, so we asked people that we knew. And they said, if Ann Taylor wanted to get in that phone, Ann Taylor could have gotten that phone. And I said, wait, what do you mean if Ann Taylor wanted to get in that phone? Wouldn't the prosecution want to be getting into that phone? I said, how? They said the Secret Service can get into that phone. FBI would just have to call up the Secret Service and they can get into that phone. Interesting. Again, question for the Barnharts. You guys were never told that none of these phones were ever Cellibrite extracted? Like there was, you guys didn't use, did they ever ask you if you could help them get into, you know, Kaylee's phone? They knew that they needed to stay the fuck out of them. Yeah. Yeah, they can get into any phone. Do you know that in the Sheldon Dieter Jr. case out of Pennsylvania, same people that Pennsylvania State Police that got Brian's phone, okay? Same people, PSP, Sheldon Dieter Jr., the victim in that case, he had more than one phone. He also had a charger on him, like a portable charger. Anyways, multiple people said that he had a brand new like iPhone. Well, guess what phone was found on him? This piece of shit Samsung shit fucking thing, okay? And they tried to tell us, and still to this day, that they could not get into Tyreek Pugh's phone, the victim. I can almost certainly call bullshit on that because the first two numbers that were dialed up by the police while on scene were, the one number was Tyreek Pugh's, one of his best friends, that would have been a number in his phone. How crazy is that? Like, where would you just randomly call this kid named AO up? How would you ever get this number? Then you want to know something that's even crazier? Then the first phone call that was made by the police on scene at Sheldon's in Sheldon's case, that kid AO, he was beat to death. Fucking crazy. Yeah. Unbelievable. Right after I believe it was, when was it? I think like a year after. Anyways, MPD is still waiting on this updates or support for the forensic software providers that hopefully will allow extraction of Kaylee's phone. To date, MPD has been unable to unlock this phone, and to date, this is still true. Just so we're clear here, no data has come out of Kaylee's phone. Unbelievable. Unfucking believable. All reports, information, and data, including all experts the state have relied upon in developing the affidavits in support of all warrants. All warrants. The state has provided everything in its possession or control that is required by Idaho. It's like, yep, the stuff that you're probably seeking, and we don't have it because it's. How crazy is that? How absolute crazy is that? Holy shit. Bethany and Dylan's phones, and then Kaylee's, and then yeah. It just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. It's just Eric Gower. Where the fuck is Molly's phone? Where's Molly's phone? Where is Ann Taylor requesting, I need to see Molly's phone? Do you understand? I just fucking took a fucking grenade and literally blew up Idaho4 Island today. Please go watch my early morning live. Okay. Molly ordered and delivered the DoorDash order that went to 1122 King Road. Molly ordered it and delivered it. Molly lied about that. Molly lied about a lot of things. Yeah. Molly was at in that King Road area at like the Whites, whatever. At the same time with the undercovers were there. Molly's there. Eric Gower's back there. All, obviously everybody at the house, whatever. And Molly, in order to come back there, that 215 order that was placed, it had to have been picked up because Molly's coming from Pullman. Okay. And if she doesn't pick it up then, okay, and Molly goes back, why would Molly do that? Why would Molly accept a 215 delivery while she's in Pullman but not go and pick it up and just drive? And then how we get this information is, thank God, JLR or Magnolium, whoever did it, Magnolium, I said Magnolia. Magnolium. Sorry, shit. Thank God she recorded in Washington, you cannot record people like that unless they know. That's Washington. They recorded it. It was a secretly recorded conversation with the people that talked to the police. The police and the feds were in there. You guys, I'm about to show you that they had, in 2022, there are cameras there. We knew it back then, but here's the pictures in case you don't believe it. I had a couple people reach out to me today after my live and say they definitely had cameras. And I'm like, yeah, look at what they're trying to do. They're trying to say there wasn't cameras. They buried these cameras. They buried these cameras just like they did in the Brian Drake case. Okay? They buried these cameras. Molly was at Jack in the Box like a fucking hooker. Okay? Going back and forth, fucking Jack. Okay? Back and forth. Like literally. To sit here and say that, oh, the cameras face this way, they're not facing that way. What? We want you to catch this car. Like, what are you talking about? Molly is saying that that she talked to her friend in the parking lot there. We have Curtis Whitman checking out of work, lying about why he had to do so after the fact when he has to go type it into his comment section afterwards, lying about why he left work during the murders or there right after. It's like, you guys, hello, we just uncovered a huge problem here, and the problem is at 250, 251, 252, 253, a nuclear bomb went off over there in Moscow, Idaho, on the University of Idaho's campus, and the undercovers were there, the plainclothes people. Oh, which, by the way, guys, great news. Great fucking news. Ready for this? Great fucking news. Great fucking news. Let me just tell you. We got 2 requests back. Let's see. Oh yeah. All right. ODP got back and gave us our, what do you call it? Our hey, this is how much it's going to cost. Remember, Moscow quoted us $2,300, and then we put together a sick ass response. Give so much props to the TNT community. Fired off a sick ass response. Moscow responded to that. They said at first $2,300 to get the fucking party papers. We sent it out to the ODP people. Let's see what we're gonna what we get back? Well, after the $2,300 one, they come back with a new offer. It's like deal or no deal. Okay, here's your suitcase, $2,300. No deal, like no deal. Go again. They come back and they say, okay, you can have it for $432. $432. Okay. 432. But I have to tell you what they quoted, because they gave like money quotes. Okay. I'm sorry, 252. If I said 232. They want still assist to the chief of police, $46.48 for 1 hour. Police officer, $54.22 for 3 hours. Grants manager / ADA coordinator, $67.71 per hour for 45 minutes. City attorney for 30 minutes. And city clerk, 2 hours. That's how they got to $452.31. Okay. $2,300 got it down to $452.31. But we got something better. And I said, no deal. You know why? Because our whistleblowing bitch, Jess fucking Miss Dexter, she comes through and slaps her titties on the table and she says, hi, I appreciate the clarification. Please see the attached invoice for the estimated fee to fulfill the public request. ODP will provide the first 2 hours of processing at no charge with the additional time billed at the resident rate. Full payment must be received prior to fulfillment of the record request. A refund will be issued if actual processing time does not exceed the estimation. Please let us know if you have any questions. Miss Jessie Dexter. Ready? And the winner is Jessie Dexter comes through and she says, well, the Idaho Office of Drug Policy employee time compiling, she says compiling, but I think she meant to say compiling, and reviewing the records is 10 hours at $23.44 an hour, so $234. ODP employee time, no charge credit for first 2 hours, so free. Deputy Attorney General request and document review, 2 hours at $52 an hour for $105, for a grand total of $292.72. So check this out. We're going to buy both of them because what if they're different? What if they're different? Payment details and terms. This is the invoice for the estimate to fulfill the public request submitted to the Idaho Office of Drug Policy, right? Right? Don't you think we got to get both? And oh, don't worry, we're going to counter and say, again, we do not need anybody reviewing these records. Okay, we do not need you reviewing these records. But I think we need both. I mean, we can get one, but then we're going to be like, what? Like, so, but how about Jessie coming through? Jessie's over here saying that she can do this for 14 hours worth of work, though. The 14 hours that Jessie is quoting, Jessie, $292. The 14 hours that those motherfuckers quoted, $2,300. And the Deputy Attorney General to request and document review, they only get paid $52 an hour. What do you guys think? I mean, we went one of these. Oh, and let's just be clear. I think we shaved a little time off, if I'm not mistaken, because I may have taken back 2 years worth for the MPD people, but Jesse's fulfillment is everything. Everything that we read off. Everything. Do you understand we have the party papers? Do you understand what these papers are going to tell us? They're going to tell us what the fuck happened on 11/13. They're going to tell us if any federal money was used, who they partnered with, was WSU part of the partnership, who was in on this fucking shit. These papers are going to be explosive. You understand that they were running a plainclothes operation. If this shit is not documented, like fucking white on rice, their asses are so fucking grass. I want to know how many fucking cars were out there. I want to know what cars were out there, how many miles were used, what the fuck y'all ate when you took shits. Okay, we're gonna know everything. Fuck. Woo. We're going to know all about Molly. We want to know who fed Molly, okay? Her entire story. Where's Molly's phone? Oh, wait, that's right. You guys didn't extract one because she got a fucking new one. Molly's the only smart one tossing her phone. Her and Hunter Chapin, they got rid of their phones. Let's take a poll. I just want to make a poll. Let's just do a poll for Birdie. Will the reports all be the same from both agencies? That's a good report, right? 1 in chat, yes. 2 in chat, no. Start and show. Let's go. So will the reports all be the same from both agencies, or do you think they're going to be different? What do we think? I'm going to go with yes, because now if nobody watches my channel, there is a potential that there could have been different, like a no, because then they would have potentially maybe fluffed some shit, changed some stuff. But if they watch my channel like I think they do, like I know they do, there's no way. I'm going to go with 1. My vote's a 1. I'm going to put a 1 in chat. Can't they still FOIA the records for the number they had? They don't need the phone for everything. No, the reason they want the phone, you guys, they can still this is okay. Once Ann Taylor revealed that these girls weren't sleeping until 11:30, like they tried to claim, and then they just called people like right then and then called, 911. Right there, you would go and like they did for Richard Allen. You could go and get a search warrant for all the phones that they have, right? And get their iCloud. But what if they didn't have those phones anymore, right? You could find out when they got a new one. The subscriber information to see when they changed, when did they get a new phone? Don't you think that'd be really interesting information to know when Bethany and Dylan got a new phone? I would love to know that. But they could have attempted to, maybe they still would have had their phones. Was there a preservation? I mean, at the very least, some type of preservation order should have went out. As soon as she got in and saw something, I mean, I don't know what the fuck happened here, but at the end of the day, they didn't get into Kaylee's phone. Who knows what the hell happened? I mean, this is just request number 11, guys. Who knows what the hell's in 1 through 10? And who knows what the hell's in 12 through 25? But I'm telling you right now, Ann Taylor had no idea about anything. I mean, maybe she did, but there's no way that I don't think that Ann Taylor thought that Molly made the DoorDash order and picked it up and delivered it. Molly did it all. Molly lied. Molly lied. This kid calls her out and says, yeah, you know what's, yeah, it is weird that she ordered it and delivered it. That's weird. She ordered it and delivered it. And Molly tried to like sneak it in there that this wasn't the order, this wasn't the house that she went to when she claims, because I know that she knew that the cameras were there, and we need to have a story for you, Molly, as to why you'd have to do this. But Molly placed an order, and Molly said that when she went back, remember, they thought I wasn't returning, so they threw away the order. So they had to make me another one. That's how she fucking explains it. And she explains it as that was the last order of the night. And it's like, no, bitch. She says that I dropped that off. And the reason I was up there for 15 minutes, was because I couldn't find the place. Lies. She's like, when I left, and then right when I'm at the Winco at the intersection, I got another order. And it was taking me back to, Jack in the Box. And I finished out at a dorm over there. And then she says, and then when I got there, they never thought that I was coming back. So they threw away the order and they had to make another one. And I'm like, Molly, if you pressed yes at 4:02, Molly, and you got to Jack in the Box at 4:15, okay, maybe 4:16, but probably like 4:13 to 4:15, your fucking food might not even be made yet. Like, meaning like the first order. Nobody's throwing away your order. Molly, no one's throwing away your order, okay? But now, Molly, let's talk about that though. Because when did you do that? What did you do here, girl? And I just think Molly's a scam artist. I think Molly's this little scammer. And I think Molly handed off the food to Maddie at around 2:51. And then that's why Maddie calls Xana, because Maddie was outside. Maddie calls Xana at 2:52, doesn't answer. Then Maddie right away calls Bethany, doesn't answer. And then crickets. Kaylee, Maddie, don't do another thing. And I'm just like, what the fuck? And that's right where the boom, and then we're going to run out and throw our body-worn cameras on, and we're going to stop these people right here that were basically coming from that area. And I saw the two blonde girls, Jacob Tisdall is talking about, that he made that loop right before he's pulling those people over. Well, no, you didn't do it in that car. You didn't do it in that car, but guess who? But guess how you know that people were out there? There was two blonde girls. Because Molly, because you're standing over there, because you're watching all this stuff, right? Because you're watching Molly. Molly's what? Molly is one of your CIs. Then Eric Gower comes back over there. You have Eric Gower, Molly, the undercovers, the murders happening. Molly's lying. Molly then didn't hit the button to say deliver, and then instead Molly goes, Molly then goes back to, what do you call it? Jack in the Box. And I think that she made a run and got whatever. And then I think that because Molly's a little creative, Molly's a little crybaby, Molly would have said something like, blaming it on like, oh my God, can you guys make me another order? I don't know what happened. I don't know. I was doing double dashing and I can't find that order. God knows what the fuck she said to those people. But why would she need another order to go over there with? Because she was getting she got money from somebody up over there. And then she's bringing just, hey, I'm going to drop off this order. She couldn't find the person because she doesn't know where the fuck they really truly lived. Why the fuck she's walking around. And then she realizes that, I don't know. And that's all. This is me being kind about it. This is me showing a kind way to explain, hey, Molly, I think this is how it happened. I'm not, saying that you had anything to do with these, unalivings or anything, but you're definitely full of shit. And Molly, and then so how we got the information that it wasn't this last order that she's talking about, because the kid goes, yeah, it's weird. Yeah, it is weird that she ordered the DoorDash. Like, she ordered it and delivered it. That's what's weird about it. That's what makes it weird, is that she's the one that ordered the food and delivered the food. And I said, ordered the food? Ordered the motherfucking food? Oh. Ordered the food. And then the other thing that doesn't make sense is, how did Molly get a DoorDash for the Jack in the Box at 4:02, just thereabouts? Because Jack in the Box doesn't take orders past 2:45 back then. She's just a fucking liar. It's all lies, and they just let her lie. Okay? Molly gets a new phone. Molly gets new tires. Molly. Molly's full of shit. Nobody knows Molly's name. They coach her. Then Payne just sits in that room and just fucking lets her talk about God fucking knows what. Woes me. Everybody's fucking dying. Oh, I took in my ex-husband, or I took in my baby daddy, and he just dies in the bathroom. I mean, who the fuck says that in a goddamn murder interview? And then nobody here picks up on the most important thing, which is Molly says, without anybody prompting her to, the police never tell you, like, nobody here was told what time the murders happened. They were just asked questions. Molly just says, it's my luck I would be there when the murder, like, it's my luck that I would have been there when this happened. Why does Molly think that she was there when it happened? Who fucking told Molly that? Who told Molly that? Nobody told Molly what time this fucking happened. Unless you were fucking interrogated like some crazy person, Molly, unless they fucking waterboarded you. How does Molly know, when this happened? That was her quote. My post I put on YouTube today, I laid off. I was like, I'm posting this whole long thing. I said, let's see. I said, MPD /ISP/FBI allowed and potentially coached Molly McMichaels in her recorded statements on 11/23/2022. Not only does Molly reveal in this interview that she knows what time the murders occurred, quote unquote, it's just my luck. I was there when this happened, end quote. The lead detective doesn't flinch a muscle. JLR's interview from 3 years ago revealed that Molly 1000% ordered the DoorDash, delivered it. She ordered the DoorDash delivery and delivered it to the crime scene. In quotes, it is weird that she ordered it and delivered it. That's what's weird. That was the quote from the kid. It was a girl with black hair. Molly in her interview reveals, quote unquote, I was leaving Moscow. I was at the intersection where the Winco is and received an order for Jack in the Box, my last of the night. When I got there, they had to remake my order because they thought I wasn't coming back and threw it away. Molly, that order would have been placed at 4 or 4:03 a.m. and her clicking and accepting it. That makes no fucking sense, Molly. This is Tina with What the Fuck Transition Services. Jack in the Box is a 10 to 12 minute drive. Why the fuck would Jack in the Box staff throw this order away, Molly, you dumb bitch? They would never. Unless she went home to take a dump, Molly, blow your fucking boyfriend and fucking, I don't know, twirl on some spoons. Fuck that, Molly. Admit it. Because you would have been arriving at Jack in the Box in 10 to 12 minutes, and potentially that order wouldn't have even been ready yet, Molly. But this is Molly's way of explaining why the cops would see her on cameras placing and buying an order. Also, this was the same time frame that Curtis Whitman dipped out of work. Did he meet Molly at Jack in the Box to explain this huge problem that they had on their hands at 1122 King Road? Everyone has a CI, especially the graveyard crews. That's the night shift name, the graveyard. So Curtis Whitman, who were you handling? Molly, was Curtis Whitman your handler? Molly says her friend was waiting for her in the parking lot, and then he also Ubers or DoorDashes or something like that. Curious if this is to get in front of just plainclothes officers on that campus, both campuses, and they're since they're in plain clothes, to say that we were door dashers. And again, this is just to get in front of the fact that if those cameras ever surfaced, that Molly would have been talking to people who were seeing that they were in plain clothes. But curious if we were to zoom in one day, if that person would be Curtis Whitman. Curious if Curtis Whitman was listening to the radio that night, like he just randomly does. He listens in on the radio calls. And was he just waiting for that radio signal? I just noticed that Curtis Whitman loves to listen to the radio. When it quacks like a duck and looks like a duck, it's a fucking duck. Eric Gower equals lied about not going back to King Road area after dropping off the girls, and lied about what time he was done working. Lied to the girls that he drove that night about planning on watching football the next day and having the house to himself. Yet he leaves at 12:49 p.m. right before the vandal alert. Molly equals the lie about the dashes and the times and the vehicles that she was in and other people she was working with. Lied about why it took her so long to drop off the order. Lied about who placed the DoorDash order. Lied about her last order and that it was, being remade. Curtis Whitman equals lied about finding Brian Kohlberger's car in the PCA and he let it stand. Lied about what time he left on work. What time he left on work that night with the murders. Signed out after the fact using the computer and wrote in a bogus reason the football game. Bitch, it was 4:30 in the morning. There's no football game. Dylan equals lied about sleeping and seeing the masked man. Lied about being woke at 4 a.m. and pretty much the 4 a.m. story. Bethany equals lied about getting chips and eating chips in her bedroom. The chips never fucking left the upstairs. They're right there on the fucking couch. Lied about Murphy being missing and told this and said that this was, Maddie told her this. Never tells anyone that Maddie called her, though, at 2:53 a.m. and that she missed that call. Never called her back, never looks at her phone and sees, oh, wait, I have a missed call from Maddie. And, maybe I should call her back, right back. Nope. Maddie isn't Bethany's first call in that early morning hours, is she? Don't know. Nope, Dylan was. Bethany lied about calling roommates in the morning. And remember, like she said that she called people when she woke up. Bethany never called anybody. Never once. So Bethany lied about calling the roommates in the morning and them not answering because she never called them. Only text messages and snaps from Dylan's phone and hers. Or I'm sorry, just from Dylan's. It wasn't even hers. She did nothing. No texts or snaps from Bethany to any roommate after 4:35 a.m. Dylan and Bethany equals they lied about who called who first that, 419 call. Dylan and Bethany lied that they were sleeping all morning and don't remember what they talked about on their phone calls. Dylan and Bethany let the cops lie about the text messages being in real time between each other versus after the fact convos about earlier in the night. Dylan and Bethany equals the lies about Xana and Ethan not being seen by anyone at that home at 1122 King Road after they arrived back from that party that night. They're partying when they're back at that home. What the fuck? Dylan and Bethany lied about not going upstairs prior to the police arriving. How do we know this? Well, guess what? Ann Taylor drops a bomb and says the grand jury proceedings, this is what was testified to, and it had to be blurred out for us, which we're going to go over the rest of that stuff this weekend. It's basically contradicting, but yet they know that Xana is only what she's wearing, but yet the door is closed when Hunter has to go. It's partly closed. How does that all, square up? It does not. Bethany equals lied about why Maddie called her, never mentions it / acts like it didn't happen, and lied about Maddie coming to her room asking if Murphy was missing. Dylan lied about Xana's door being open to be able to see her before running downstairs. Hunter said the door was partially closed, if not completely closed. Payne equals lied about the 4:29 a.m. SUV not parking at 112 King Road, lied about the 424 SUV being a female checking on her fucking cats. Bitch, please. The Lynn Lane camera footage is just missing from 3:30 to 4:05 a.m. Jack in the Box footage missing. Molly orders and delivers the murder food. Paradise missing. Ridge Road 3:29 a.m. is a lie, and it's not the same car as the intersection of Maine. Indian Hills 3:26 a.m. undercover cop car. Jennings lying about timing advance records existing. Balance lying about Cast Viz and data from driving test. 2:48 a.m. phone not reporting the network. Lie. Mowry lying for everyone at the grand jury. WSU camera at 2:53 a.m. not moving in concert with Culber's car. So that's another lie in the probable cause affidavit. The Floyd's camera has fog lights. Culber's car doesn't have fog lights. Curtis Whitman left work at 4:30 a.m. Why? We need that stage team, God damn it, because we got a big problem that went south during our controlled buys, during our federal grant money operations. You guys, all these fucking lies. These are all 1,000. If you're a juror, you'd be having those conversations, all of that in a deliberating room. Grow up, Molly. Grow up, Molly. Okay, what do we have here on our voting, on our booth? Let's go to the polls. Well, will the reports all be the same from both agencies? 63% of you guys. I'm sorry, 86% of you guys. Only 63 people voted no, and only 10 people voted yes. So only 73 people did the poll. What the fuck do I have this poll for? This is Tina with What the Fuck Transition Services. We can't tell shit from this poll. All right, guys, we'll go with the percentages here. I went with yes, that they will be the same. But again, I try to see the best in people. I'm stopping the poll. Fuck everybody. Damn it, people. Why the fuck did I waste my time with that poll? Grow up, Molly. Now, let's go back to, thank you again, Terry Dawn. She supported the channel, gifted 1 Truth and Transparency membership. Hoffy Master gifted 5 Truth and Transparency memberships. Love you, Hoffy Master. Allie Tally, 5 Truth and Transparency memberships. Prison Beef Central. Hi, Lana. Can you shout out my mom and sister, Cindy and Sammy? Fuck yeah, I can. Hi, Cindy. Hi, Sammy. Sorry, that was like at 10 and it's like 11:21. So hope you guys stuck around. If not, clip that, send that. Angel, $5 super sticker. Thank you so much, Angel. Deborah, what is good, girl? Good to see you in here. 5 Truth and Transparency memberships. Man, we have a lot of new aliens. Let's get the cowbell. Allie Tally does a back-to-backer. A 5 and a 20 for 25. That's my favorite basketball number. Allie Tally says, this morning live is a huge must watch, y'all. It is. It's fucking is. Okay. It's nuts. This entire case is nuts. If I was these parents, I'd be fucking suing fuck all these people. They're already suing WSU. I hope it's going to reveal a lot for them. Everybody's lying. It's bad. It's bad. If we wouldn't have ever had that recording from JLR, it's actually Magnolia that recorded, I believe. JLR said it was somebody that was a customer. Thank you, Hoppy Master. I'm going to play it for you guys to hear it. Angel, $5 super sticker. True Crime Cafe, my man. There you go. Hammer that like button, y'all. Show our girl some love. Member for 13 months. Shake it for mama. Crime Tour is 5 to the Transparency memberships. Who's all the new fucking members, man? Thank you so much, Mandy. Thank you. Take a look at this. Motorola has figured a lot out. I think the community has done just a phenomenal fucking job. Hobby Master, 5 to the Transparency memberships. Honestly, I think the community has done a fabulous job. But here, take in honor of JLR over there at CrimeCon. Speaking of which, Turtle Boy got canceled. Turtle Boy flew to fucking West Virginia. Love all my West Virginia people, but he's having a hoedown himself now. Tim, you can't spell pool without poo, was going to have him on. Oh, fuck no. Fuck no. Oh my God. Just totally that fucking, I'm telling you, the Karen Reed Island. If you guys thought the Watts Island like exploded, the shit that's coming in with the Karen Reed Island, oh, it's gonna be a tsunami. It's gonna be a tornado, a hurricane. It's gonna be every earthquake. I mean, you fucking name it. Natural disaster is going to blow. That bitch is gonna blow. The FOIA requests that I've done, public records, whatever. God damn these lying sons of bitches. That's all I have to say. It's crazy. It's sick. It's sick how they use political, how the federal investigation, this fake federal investigation even got started. Fuck these people. Okay. I have to play this though so we can hear this call from JLR's illegal recording now. It's maybe just a little illegal, but who cares? Here we go. Fuck yeah. Look at JLR. Look at this nut. Come on, JLR, where you at? He's over there at CrimeCon shaking his baby arm. If somebody could tell me what baby arm means in the chat, I'll just like love you forever.
Jack in the Box employees. The Jack in the Box in Pullman, Washington, that is right down the street from where Brian Kohlberger lived at the Steptoe Apartments. This conversation was given to me between a customer and Jack in the Box, and it's discussing about
winner
that was delivered to the Moscow, Idaho home during the early morning hours of November 13th, 2022, the morning of the murders, where 4 murders happened inside a Moscow home around 4 a.m. That's when the DoorDash was delivered. Check this conversation out, and then we will. 4 murders happened inside a Moscow home around 4 a.m. That's when the DoorDash was delivered. Check this conversation out, and then we will further discuss.
Hey, isn't this the Jack in the Box where they got, remember the Koberger murders in Moscow?
Yeah.
Xana got Jack in the Box from here.
We had police officers and feds up and they were like asking for footage and stuff.
Are you serious?
Yeah, it was kind of crazy. And it happened like there was a couple, like they came in here a few days, like not in a row, but there was a few times they were in here asking because I don't really know how they found out or like what the evidence was.
Well, because it was like the DoorDash got picked up from here.
Yeah.
Did you ever find out like who the DoorDash driver was?
I don't know if I've heard personally. I can't do. I know. I made the dude's food a lot though for the guy, and I remember his name very clearly up on my screen. That actually did the murder.
What is it?
It's like Brian's something.
He says the guy that did the murders, I actually would order from there.
It's like Brian C. I just don't know the last name clearly, but like.
Was it Brant Kopaka?
No, it was Brian Kohlberger or something like that. I think that was his name.
The DoorDash driver?
No, not the DoorDash driver. The person that.
Yeah, the killer's name.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about the DoorDash driver. Who was the DoorDash driver?
You know the DoorDash driver? That was.
Yeah, this is so this is going to be like a new person that comes on.
Was DoorDashing for the murder?
Yes.
Yeah. You know,
I don't know what name,
Dang.
but I was talking to her the other day.
Who was it?
I don't remember her name.
Oh, it's a girl.
But yeah, she has like black hair.
That's crazy.
When she came in, she said she thought, because I hadn't seen her in a while, she thought they were dashing for a little bit because the FBI was investigating the whole thing. Yeah.
Oh, so she probably had like trauma.
Probably a little bit,
Yeah.
especially
So-
being involved in that.
I mean, it's kind of weird. She ordered it or she dropped it off like that. Yeah.
So it was a girl.
Yeah.
Oh, I assumed it was a guy. This
I mean, it's kind of weird. She ordered it or she dropped it off like that. Yeah.
So it was a girl.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, it's kind of weird. She ordered it and dropped it off. I mean, it is kind of weird. Like, you guys, there's nothing weird about being the DoorDash driver, okay? But it's weird to, order that, but whatever. And then Molly just comes and makes up some bullshit.
oh, I assumed it was a guy this whole time.
It was a girl that dropped off.
Oh, you don't know her name?
I don't.
Oh, and she still drives now again.
Every now and then I see her.
So, do you think Brian Koberger himself was a DoorDash driver at some point?
Maybe, honestly.
I mean, do you remember ever seeing him be a DoorDash driver, like around here, or picking up from here,
Why aren't you asking more questions about the DoorDash driver? Brian, what?
whatever?
No.
Well, I was just wondering because I thought it was weird that like the DoorDash person came at the same exact time he did to
Yeah.
the house. Like, what are the chances of
Yeah.
that?
I don't know.
So I obtained that conversation. I vetted it. It is coming from the Jack in the Box in Pullman, Washington.
I vetted it. That's Magnolia. I vetted it. I obtained that from a fucking customer. Her name is Magnolia Shits. I'm just kidding.
Jonathan Lee Riches investigates. I am covering the Moscow, Idaho Brian Kohlberger case. I have an audio recording I'm going to play for everyone. This is a recording between a customer and Jack in the Box employees. The Jack in the Box in Pullman, Washington, that is right down the street from where Brian Kohlberger lived at the Steptoe Apartments. This conversation was
Okay. So, anyways, let's, now, okay, because I got to end out with some bombs. All right. So, I don't believe in canceled culture. I'm of the type like, everybody can watch what they want, whatever, like just don't rock people's boats, that type of thing. Like, it's just, hey, if you, whatever your cup of tea is, great. But I'm just big on, like, I don't think people should be going around destroying people's lives in the world that I'm in. Like, it's just like, if you want to watch something on ABC, you watch something on ABC. If you want to watch something on Fox, you watch something on Fox. It just, whatever program you like, you fucking watch, right? Awesome. Well, I'm also all about the First Amendment, which would go hand in hand. Why are we, there's no cancel culture. Like, it's First Amendment, right? How can it be First Amendment but be about cancel culture? Okay. To me, it just doesn't seem, it seems like kind of fucked up in your brain. And I was like, oh, here it is. Turtle Boy believes in First Amendment. He likes to hide behind it. It's a fake First Amendment. But he also believes in canceled culture. So the irony of what I'm about to show you here is fucking nuts. Now, in the Karen Reed case, I was planning and getting so excited because I was prepping to show the side-by-side of everything to do with the roommates inside and the victims and their phones and those reports that we're about to get, okay? And I want to show you guys what they did in the John O'Keefe Karen Reed case, just to show you how, like, holy shit, John's phone stops moving at this time and it never moves again. But then we're also bringing in like the pocket states, which was just mind blowing because not only does it not move again, I mean, it doesn't even see the light of day. So as I was doing a bunch of reviewing, then we find out that, oh wait, we didn't even do anything with Cellibrite. I'm like, what the fuck? I then get news that, hey, Turtle Boy flew to West Virginia only to get royally railed from behind. I said, excuse me? That's pretty invasive. Well, yeah, Turtle Boy announces that he got canceled, censored. Turtle Boy episode of At Tim Cast canceled after the Mick Alberts threatened to sue him. And I'm like, what? I was like, that didn't happen, did it? Like, what do you mean threatened to sue him? What do you mean? He was just on a plane. He was just out. You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck? This man does an impromptu live broadcast and says this.
Daily News.
Let's talk about exactly what happened here. So, like I said, around 10:30, I got the call from Lisa.
First of all, look at that bed. Look at that bed. Oh, the day I would show that in the background.
Who told me that it's probably not gonna be happening today. Now, Lisa wanted it. Lisa is not a regular on the show. She's the booker. And she found me a month ago, or like we started talking a month ago, when Big Red Julie Carpenter started chirping at her out of nowhere. And then I clicked on Lisa's thing and I checked our DMs and she had messaged me in June and invited me on the show. And I'm like, yeah, let's fucking do it. Yeah. And so I messaged her and she was very excited. She's not a regular on Tim's show, like on his panel, but she was going to come on for this. And she was going to she's like, Tim doesn't know anything about this. Tim is he's a very successful political commentator, right? With a very large platform. He's got almost 3 million subscribers. And if you guys are unfamiliar with him, he started like Vice News, I think. And he's kind of built his brand as being anti-censorship. Like that's one of his core beliefs is he hates censorship. All right. And, but he doesn't know anything about the Kerry case. Okay. And what has happened now by them sending him this letter? I know how people like him think. Okay. People like him do not like being silenced and they don't like being censored. Okay. And he might not have known much about this case because he mostly sticks to politics and whatnot and stuff like that. But now they have threatened him.
Exactly. Politics. Take a note of that. He does politics, this dude. And I never realized until I did my deep dive with, I'm going to go get all my own shit with this case. And holy shit, let's talk about something here. Let's talk about your political ways of doing things, Turtle Boy.
Okay. And his lawyers have advised him, don't go forward with the show tonight. We don't know anything about this case. But guess what? They're going to now. This is the Streisand effect. He's going to look into this case now. They've made a big mistake in doing that. And if I know anything about him and human nature.
He's lying right here, you guys. All this is a lie. He gets canceled.
The lie after lies after lies after lies after lies that they have been caught in, the documented lies, the lies that they've admitted, that they've told under oath, that they lied to the FBI. They don't want me talking about how Jennifer McCabe lied to the FBI when they showed up at her house on April 10th, 2023. And she said her name was Nicole Albert so that they would go away. And then she lied to them again when they didn't go away. And they asked, who'd you call? And she listed 3 people, but she omitted 2 of them. And one of them was Brian Albert. She did not want them knowing that she didn't call Brian Albert because she's a liar. And these people lie about everything and they delete.
You are the biggest liar. You're the biggest liar. You raised $1 million, which is fraud. You raised $1 million off of a lie when you said that you were an independent journalist who uncovered the story. The story was fucking handed with some titties in a blanket on a platter for you. And it was a story that was one-sided, completely one-sided. That's not independent journalism.
Everything. And they think that by hiring
working with Karen Reed, with the lawyers, you were all communicating, you were lying, then you lied about being the source of the federal investigation when it was actually Alan Jackson. And he put it in a motion. That's his insurance policy on you, on Turtle Boy. Alan Jackson's going to be fine because he's just going to blame this fucking kid and say, yeah, you were my source. But Turtle Boy has come out since and said that, no, Alan Jackson and David Yannetti, they went to the feds. I'm like, you guys are just fucking taking shots at each other, aren't you?
hiring some scumbag, slimy attorney like Chris Mattei or Matty, whatever his name is, and James Tuxedo, whatever his name is, Deluxe Bear,
The Mick Alberts, aka we know who they are. their lawyer wrote his team, meaning Tim Pool's team, and didn't threaten him at all. Didn't threaten him. Thought that he should just be advised. Like, hey, here, this is what's going on. The person you're about, have on your platform was arrested for X amount of felonies, doing all this stuff, blah, blah, just basically laying it all out. Okay. And this motherfucker came on here and again, gassed up his peeps, his people.
Know anything about this case. It's the first time they've ever heard of it. That's all you were telling me. And then I came along and I spoke to Lucky and I made it clear, Lucky, you don't have to be scared of these people anymore. You don't have to be scared of these people. They're not in charge. I get that you're scared, but we're not going to let you be scared anymore. All you got to do is tell the truth, bro. And now Lucky is a goddamn American hero. He's an American icon because of what he did there. And yeah, he got some shit from a bunch of townies who don't matter. Yeah, he's not going to get any more free pizza or mediocre chicken parms.
Oh my God. It was Turtle Boy that actually threatened Lucky and said that he was going to reveal. He threatened him with 17 of his civil lawsuits that he's always been a defendant in. He was going to put out some very, very damning information on Lucky. If Lucky didn't, it was after Lucky talked to the feds and Lucky didn't say the right thing. He messed up his times. Really bizarre.
At Chris Albert's crappy pizza shop. That's about it. Other than that, he's a goddamn American icon, right? And everybody loves Lucky. And when Tim Pool, who knows nothing about this case,
Turtle Boy in chats was calling him Forrest Gump Lucky, that he's slow and he will never try to sue me for recording him illegally and all this crazy shit. This man is fucking crazy. Crazy.
is now forced to read about this case. He is going to reach the same conclusion we do. In case you guys don't know Tim too well, he's not I don't know how to describe him. I would say libertarian leaning, but right leaning, but also libertarian. Doesn't trust the government and doesn't really care for the police that much. Not like anti-police, but not blindly trusting police. He had a tweet the other day. I'll show you.
Okay, so Lana, why are you showing this? Because then this Tim guy, right? He takes to fucking Twitter and blasts Aiden Carney. Blasts him and says, fucking geez. He tells people not to fucking watch him. Not to watch him. Let me find this fucking post. Tim Poo. It's Tim Pool at Timcast. He says, let's see. Okay. 11 hours ago. Canceled. This morning, my lawyers received notice pertaining to at Dr. Turtleboy and risk of legal exposure if we host him. The notice is attached. Under advisement of counsel, we will not host him on IRL and must advise. Do not follow him or read what he is saying. What? This has been seen by 748,000 people. It's been shared 648 times and 1.8 thousand comments. This happens after he does this.
He had a tweet the other day that he had up, right? About the police. And I was planning on discussing on this on the show when I went on there today. I'll show you this video. Where'd it go? Okay, check this out.
Unbelievable. This fucking idiot. And then yesterday, he fucking basically told his fucking followers, this fucking idiot. He refuses to debate me. I said, let's debate about your case or the Karen Reed case. Either one, I'll wax your fucking titties off. He writes, this is what he does yesterday. Idiot. I should actually read the, where's this stupid freaking, oh. God. Oh my God, he spiraled. I didn't realize that he posted. You guys, he made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. He made 9 posts on Twitter in 1 fucking hour. Just shotgunning all this shit. Maybe even more. Oh my God. What an idiot. I didn't even realize all this shit. He retweets Tim Pool's words and says, when you tear out a man's tongue, you are not proving him a liar. You're only telling the world that you fear what he might say. And I'm going to now retweet what Aiden fucking Kearney just wrote. And I'm going to say, yeah, bitch. Man up. Let's debate. Fuck him. Lying ass.
So this is being sarcastic. Like, he wants you to follow. Since he has posted this, I have gained, let's see.
Now this is his.
I've gained 550 new followers on Twitter since he posted this. And as a result of that, in the comments.
You guys, the delusion. He's like, you don't understand. He did me a favor. He posted this and I've gained 550 new subscribers on Twitter. Oh my God. He has no idea what's coming. He is facing 99 years in prison for witness intimidation, picketing a witness, fucking conspiracy to commit witness intimidation. Did you know that there is no statute of limitations on witness intimidation? Karen Reed is in a lot of hot water still, like a shit ton. This man is not going down alone. He's taking down everybody with him.
This is what I'm like, okay, awesome. I know what he's doing here. This is good. And I go, okay, since they like, here is the full story about how Karen Reed was framed for murdering John O'Keefe after he went inside Brian Albert's house alive before being placed on his front lawn to die in a blizzard. Those are facts. That all happened. So that's the link to Framed. You just put God knows how many eyeballs on this video that had not seen this video before. Okay.
So he just goes and floods his whole fucking entire comment section, and all these fucking turtle riders go and do the same thing. And then they just start bashing this Tim guy. And then it comes out that Aiden Kearney was talking about this man just a couple months ago, or fucking couple years ago, rather, saying and calling Tim boring and all this shit, and then calling him like he's like on the spectrum of, you know, autism and shit like that. Then calls him like, I don't know, Forrest Gump or some shit. He's absolutely off his rocker. And then so those text messages then got put out. I mean, fucking A.
And let's see. Like how many? And so that's what they're trying to, that's tortoise. That's pronounce it, whatever. That's what they're trying to, right? This is a business opportunity for me. This is a professional relationship. And they're interfering in that relationship and trying to stop me from making professional relationships or whatever. They're trying to stop.
It's called contractual relationships. It's called, are you referring to a tort claim?
Stop me from building my brand and making more money and just advancing in this field. They don't want that. And so that's what they're trying to, that's tortoise. Is that how to pronounce it? Whatever. That's what they're trying to.
No, you are a tortoise. You're a turtle boy.
Prevent me from doing. All right. And that's what you saw here. Now, if I had not announced I was going on Timcast, and last time I came on Timcast in January of 2023, I did not announce it ahead of time specifically to avoid this from happening. I literally did not tell a soul I was going on Timcast until that morning. I did a stream from Harper's Ferry, and then it was too late to cancel it. And they tried. Oh, they tried. The crusty panties of the world, they've been trying this for years. And it was too late then. Had I given them 3 weeks notice, they might have succeeded. You know, who knows what they would have come up with. But, where was I? So yeah, it's a tough one because I'm like, I can't even say I'm going to be somewhere. Here's the thing. Now I didn't mind saying it ahead of time this time because I thought I'm like, well, back then I'm trying to like make a name for myself, you know, be seen. I'm much bigger now. I don't need to go on Timcast to get a lot of views. I'll be fine, you know. But
Then
it would
why
have
are
been
you
cool.
going on it?
It definitely would have been cool. Like I want him to care about this. That's what I want. I want him to take an interest in this. That's what
Why?
I really want. And they know that I want that.
Why?
They don't want him taking an interest in this. There's a reason he got one and others didn't.
What?
Melanie Little's never gotten a letter like this.
Melanie. Melanie Little's never gotten a letter. Fucking dead. Like a little letter.
Saying, don't let Eden on your show.
That's not what the letter says, Aiden. The letter doesn't say that at all. How about I thought that this man is all about freedom of speech. Let me tell you what my post said today about this. People wanted to know my take. They're like, oh, Leanna, what's your take on this? I said, you know what? I'll fucking tell you it on Twitter. Here you go, people. This is my take on it. I said, oh, where is it? Oh, fucking A. How do I have my replies? Let's see. Okay. Okay. I said, at Dr. Turtleboy, welcome to your new reality. I love this for you. All these lawyers and puppets that went on your platform to have that fundraiser last week are basically on notice too. Thanks for spreading the awareness, Tim, and for crying about it, Aiden. Tons more are seeing it. LOL. Wake up, folks. Alan Jackson put on the performance of his career, and we, the people, paid for it. Sucks to be us, but I learn from my mistakes. I don't ignore them, deflect from them, nor do I let them define me. Aiden got canceled on an interview that was a planned pre-record, laughing my fucking ass off. Something that could be edited like a motherfucker, and Tim still said, hell to the no, he must go. No way. This means Tim knows that Aiden has no content and nothing else to offer other than defaming witnesses in the Karen Reed case. Tim knows Aiden isn't worth it. And it was a simple choice. Aiden loves canceled culture, so this is pretty ironic. Aiden is a one-trick pony and has 99 problems, and getting canceled isn't one of them, and catching over a dozen felonies isn't either. I call it out as I always see it. Aiden tried to bully me into not talking about the truth in the Karen Reed case and in his case. And he did it while trying to gaslight me. Brandy Churchwell knows what I'm talking about. And I added her because I will read something that was very interesting. My mistake with the Karen Reed case was not filing and filling out my own FOIA requests in this case, and thereby letting a turtle create a timeline. Since I have started performing my own requests in the Reed case and started from the beginning, everything changes. This was never about Karen Reed for Aiden Carney. This has always been about money. Aiden was bought and paid for very early on in the Karen Reed fight. Go read the transcripts of Karen Reed being arrested in June of 2022. I said, I'll help you guys. I'll read it actually for you on one of my, upcoming shows. Apply the timeline that I have been revealing in real time over the past several months, and then begin to cover this case with a new set of ears, a brain, and some eyeballs. Karen should really consider the outs I have provided her and her team. Or keep thinking Karen knows what happened that night, laughing my fucking ass off because there's no way that she does. She's given 14 different versions of the same 15 minutes. From 12:14 a.m. to 12:31 a.m. The biggest for me is that she said that she was calling John while sitting waiting for him at the house before she left. The first phone call that Karen Reed made to John was at 12:33 a.m. 12:33 a.m. That means it's not possible that that's how that happened. Because at 12:36, she's on the Wi-Fi. It's impossible to get 6 or 7 minutes without it being snowing. How did she get on the Wi-Fi by 12:36 at John's house? If she was at 34 Fairview, she said she made multiple calls. Just the first one's at 12:33. It means that she couldn't have made those calls while waiting for him outside the house. She would have never been able to get on the Wi-Fi at 12:36. Now, anyways, I said, I just can't get past this false memory right now. And it has everything to do with, I can't believe when people want to say, Atlanta, what the fuck are you talking about in the Karen Reed case? I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? I said, it looks like Karen dropped him off at a different house that she thought was 34 Fairview. She was drunk. And so therefore, that actually plays really well for Karen because that means that she never went to 34 Fairview, which means how did her taillight get there? And she also couldn't have hit John, right? I said, were all the steps in all the floors and all the movements happening with John's phone, walking and shit? It happens on Oakdale, which is a couple streets away, which is where a couple cops live. One of them, who is one of the first responders over to the scene that morning. I said, it's called Oakdale Ave. I call it Hog Heaven. I said, it looks like John got out the car over there. And Karen was waiting over there. They fucking lost their minds in the Karen Reed movement when I fucking put that out there. Because, oh my God, how dare I say that Jen McCabe did not Google search house long to die in the cold at 2:27. When I said, well, I know that she didn't. Because at the very basic, even if it was a Google search at that time, which after this whole glitch came about, it's not. It didn't. There was a glitch. We're probably going to be able to free some more people because of this glitch that happened. But she has a watch on and she has a phone. The watch goes upstairs. The phone doesn't. It's that simple. Anyways, at the end of the fucking day, I'm over here saying, Karen Reed didn't go to 34 Fairview. Maybe people should look into that. Karen Reed doesn't remember what the fuck happened. Karen Reed, when she woke up in the morning, went to the waterfall bar. Why would you go there? It's like you don't retrace your steps when you can't find people. You retrace your steps for keys. Okay, I left my purse somewhere. I lost my keys. You're retracing your steps. I've never had to retrace my steps for a human that I dropped off, and I would know where I left my. Come on, people. Anyways, just want to put this out there. This man, absolutely crazy.
She would laugh at them because she knows the facts of the case. She would just laugh at them, right? Albert could not have possibly left 34 Fairview Road at 12:10 because it's a 5, maybe 10-minute drive. That means Colin Albert is lying about when he left the house. That means Chris Albert's lying. He got caught in a lie about what time he got home. He tried to lie and say he got home at 12:05 in order to make it reasonable that his son could have left Brian Albert's house at 12:10, except the surveillance video doesn't lie. And the surveillance video at the waterfall caught him in a lie.
Okay, let me explain something about that. He's absolutely crazy, you guys. They got the cameras for the waterfall bar immediately, and CF McCarthy's. They got those immediately. If Trooper Proctor is feeding people their stories or feeding people times, he had the fucking surveillance camera.
Now their whole timeline's screwed up. Why are these people lying in a murder trial? These are the people trying to bully Timcast.
These are the people trying to bully Timcast. Oh my God. Look at this spin. I love it.
Multi-millionaire, by the way, who I don't think is who don't like censorship. These are the people who think that that guy owns a pizza shop in Canton. You think Tim Pool is gonna like being bullied by some guy who makes mediocre chicken parm?
Turtle Boy used to write blog after blog about this woman named Rachel Rollins. He stopped blogging about her in 2022, in October of 2022. She was running the AG's office. Guess who Yannetti and Ellen Jackson went to get a federal investigation going? Hmm. Who? This man was always writing about her. Rachel Rollins. Never wrote about her again until May 17th of 2023. And then stopped and did a couple and then never wrote about her again. It's 2026. She's running because she got booted. Now she's running to be DA over there in Boston and Suffolk County. Yeah. He would be screaming from the fucking flames of hell right now. If this was 2021, 2022, making sure that woman is not a DA. Why? Because there was a deal cut. There was a deal cut. Stop blogging about me.
Thug, wannabe punk who threatens the Advantage Boys on TikTok? If he does, we'll see. I don't think he will. Next. Colin lied about pointless things during testimony. He testified several times that he never spoke with anyone in his family about the trial. He didn't even talk to his family in preparation for his testimony. No reasonable person believes that a family that's been didn't treat her son as a potential suspect. This is the text message. I just saw Julie and said, when all this is over, she wants to get you a gift. And she said, get Elizabeth one. That's what Michael Proctor said. This is not an actual picture of the text. This is a visual recreation of it. But the FBI is the one that found that text message when they were investigating the McAlberts. Boom.
When they were investigating who? No, they were investigating the investigators, honey. Get it right. And where's that federal investigation? Who's been arrested? Nobody. Guess what Rachel Rawlings did in 2020? She got fucking booted out, first of all. The hell is my piece of paper here? I got so many papers. Rachel Rawlins brought her efforts to advance some dude's candidacy to the MAUSAO when she used her position as U.S. attorney and information available to her as U.S. attorney in an ultimately unsuccessful effort to create the impression publicly before the primary election that the DOJ was or would be investigating Hayden for public corruption. It's the same fucking playbook that they did in the Karen Reed case. Rachel Rawlins made it look like there was going to be this, federal DOJ probe. Okay. Had, all these talks swirling about it, right? Same thing fucking happens in the Karen Reed case. Rachel Rawlings gets these efforts included, but were not limited to Rawlings trying unsuccessfully to convince her first assistant U.S. attorney to issue a letter that would have created the impression that the DOJ was investigating Hayden. And when that effort failed, disclosing non-public sensitive DOJ information directly to the Herald reporter before the primary election. Then after the Herald did not publish the story before the primary election and Arola lost to Hayden, Rawlins disclosed additional information to the Herald to damage Hayden's reputation while he was an uncontested candidate in the general election. If he sucks long enough, he will like it. Look at this fucking crybaby.
During the Commonwealth's criminal prosecution of
Oh my God, here's the letter.
5 people, and then later told it was Nicole Ray would put up at her door on April 10th, 2023.
Look at what he says here. So the guy that's defending the Alberts and McCabe's and Higgins, he's Chris. He's saying his last name wrong. I don't know why he's doing that, but whatever. He says right here, it says, you are, of course, free to host guests of your choosing. Our purpose is straightforward: to ensure that you and your counsel are fully informed of the facts before tomorrow's broadcast. That's how this is being presented.
With the federal grand jury subpoena, admitted
On April 16, 2026, our clients filed a 14-count civil action against Aiden Carney and Karen Reed, alleging defamation, civil conspiracy, and intentional infliction of emotional distress, among other claims. The complaint, a copy of which we enclose here with, documents in extensive and specific detail a multi-year campaign by Aiden, carried out through his Turtle Boy media platform and in concert with Miss Reed, to falsely accuse our clients of murdering Boston police officer John O'Keefe and of engineering a fraudulent criminal prosecution against Miss Reed. Our clients are private individuals. Jennifer McKay, Brian Albert, Colin Albert, and Brian Higgins testified truthfully, repeatedly, and at significant personal cost during the Commonwealth's criminal prosecution of Miss Reed. As the complaint documents, Aiden Carney's response to that testimony was not debate or legitimate criticism, but a sustained campaign of targeted defamation. Exactly. I said, let's fucking debate, Aiden Carney. Come on. You fucking you think that you have all this shit about Karen Reed and her case? I'll debate you about your own case. I'll debate you about Karen Reed's case. He can't debate. He doesn't know how to have a conversation. He's a fucking bully bitch baby. He's a criminal. He's been doing this his entire existence on this platform, bullying and defaming people, but he's been intimidating people. It's bad. He uses his own kids as pawns. He pretends to be other people that he's going up against in court, creates fake accounts in their names, and then takes pictures of his own kids and puts them out on the internet, acting like it goes and cries and says, look at this person. They're trying to say they're going to, kill and rape my kids. Uses his kids like that. What a fucking absolute whack job. Caught him doing it. He falsely and repeatedly accused these individuals of murder, obstruction of justice, evidence planting, and perjury. Allegations that are false and that he promoted for the express purpose of financial gain. That's exactly why he did it. From a dedicated audience he cultivated around the Karen Reed case.
during the Commonwealth's criminal. I'm reading this for the first time.
I'm reading this for the
In
first
this letter,
time.
that Karen Reed was acquitted of murder and manslaughter. And
Yeah, why was she acquitted? How was she acquitted? Why was she acquitted?
leaving the scene of an accident. Did they mention that? That seems to be the most relevant fact. That, oh yeah, and all this, and she was acquitted by a jury after a 31-day trial. Yeah, besides that.
What?
He falsely, as the complaint documents, murder.
All right, we're going to speed up.
It's also criminal.
Okay.
He has been indicted on a series of witness intimidation charges arising from his mistreatment of our clients. These clients, Tim, told the police, Big Bad Brian Albert, 6'3", 250, Iraq veteran, big bad guy,
Mm-hmm.
told a grand jury that he was scared of me. That's how I was indicted, because a bunch of grown men told a grand jury in which there's no judge, there's no defense attorney. It's just a prosecutor and a bunch of people, and showing a one-sided story.
That's what you did in the Karen Reed case. Mm-hmm. How the fuck could you be so tight with Karen Reed and her not tell you that she was trying to bump uglies with Higgy Poo? How the fuck? Are you kidding me, Aiden? She didn't trust you, and she clearly wasn't being honest, because why would she leave any part about Higgins out of the story? If anybody had a motive there to get in an argument with John, it would have been Higgins. So why would Karen cover for Higgins? Why would Karen not tell anybody about that? Anybody ask themselves that?
And I was indicted for that. I have not been convicted of anything, nor will I ever be convicted of anything.
Mm.
My trial is in December.
Mm.
And you will,
And we're going to cover it gavel to gavel right before the holidays. Bang, bang.
the whole world is going to see in December if this goes to trial.
If this goes to trial, now it's if this goes to trial, why won't it go to trial? What's wrong? He thinks he's going to get bailed out by the new DA.
Just how guilty these people are and just how right I am.
Okay. I can't go back.
Those charges are pending. Indeed, although Carney spread hatred and lies from his online platforms, he invoked his Fifth Amendment privilege against self-incrimination when he was identified as a witness in the second trial of Kramer Reed. What does that have to do with anything?
Yeah, why did you claim the fifth? Why did you plead the fifth? Just curious.
Yes, Tim, I was put on the witness list by the prosecutor in this case for some reason.
Why would it be for some reason? Why wouldn't you be a witness? You filled out an affidavit in the case.
In a case that doesn't really involve me, in which I was not in Canton on that day. I don't know any of these people before any of this. I was made a witness in his murder trial for some strange reason.
Then why'd you write an affidavit in the case during the pending proceeding? Curious. That's what I thought.
And that reason was that when you are on a witness list, you are sequestered and you can't report on it. And you can't do your shows on it, and you can't influence people about it. That's why they put me on the list. They were never going to call me. They just wanted to sequester me. It was a trick. So we invoked my Fifth Amendment privilege so that I could talk about this and I could do my job, because it's ridiculous and absurd for them to put me on a witness list in a trial that doesn't involve me. He forgot to mention that. Carney's statements about our clients are not matters of opinion or protected expression. Oh, yes, they are. They are.
No, they're fucking not. No, they're not. You hide behind First Amendment every fucking day, and it's disgusting.
Actual accusations of serious crimes that we believe, that we have the opinion they committed.
He is.
And measurable harm to our clients' reputations, employment, family life, and safety.
That's not why they did it.
Who's
That's not why they
safety?
put
None
him
of these
on the-
people are in danger.
He had, you guys, he was communicating with Alan Jackson and David Yannetti, and there's no privilege there. You understand that? He has totally distorted the fucking reality. The reality. He's distorted the reality of the timeline and everything that he's has fucking done in this case.
None of these people are in danger. Their family life is fine. Their family's all together still. Their employment, not my problem.
What an idiot. Every time he speaks, he just totally fucks himself. That's what he's being sued for. Economic harm, you fucking idiot. Their economic harm is your problem.
Them still have jobs. None of them have lost their homes or gotten foreclosed. Their reputations, the damage they've incurred is a result of their own behavior.
It's a result of their own behavior. Oh, shit. Oh, he's so fucked. This dude is so fucked.
Carney's known and documented pattern
God, his ass is going to be so fucking loose.
of conduct. We want to be direct with you about what Carney has done and what he is likely to do on your platform, likely to do. They're trying to stop this. For years, through his blog, YouTube channel, and podcast appearances, Carney has accused Jennifer McCabe, Brian Albert, Colin Albert, and Brian Higgins of being murderers. He has published their home addresses. Their home addresses were all listed because they're witnesses in a murder case.
No, they weren't. They were not public. He's such a liar.
Identified their family members. So what? If I believe their family members are involved in this, then you're allowed to do that, and pointing out the connections that their family had to law enforcement. Tormented their children. I've never tormented any children. I don't want anything to do with their children. Colin Albert's a grown man.
Colin Albert, what the fuck are you talking about? You went to a kid's high school I'm guessing it was high school. Could have been fucking younger. Lacrosse game, you fucking weirdo. You went and you went and bought tickets under a fake name. You set up fake emails. Nobody does that if what you're doing is fucking fine. There's a wiretapping laws in fucking Massachusetts. Fucking idiot. These people are witnesses in a case, so they're different. You cannot do things to them that you can do to other people that aren't witnesses. Like, you're intimidating them. You're trying to influence them, and you're trying to get people to go at them. In fact, you said those exact words when you were at Julie fucking Nagel's house, and I told you, holy shit, you're fucked with this. You're like, yeah, let's, we can try to get our neighbors to get on her.
And encourages his followers to confront and harass them. It is not a crime to encourage people to ask questions. That is not harassment. We know this because two of them, Chris Albert and Jennifer McCabe, have tried and failed to get restraining orders on me.
It's a totally different stat and a totally different burden. Totally, you're a fucking idiot. Going and getting a stalking prevention order is completely different than the witness intimidation statute. It's like comparing murder to fucking, I don't know, breaking and entering, buddy.
And both judges told them that my speech is not harassment. Asking them questions is not harassment. He has done this while monetizing that audience through paid subscriptions, merchandise, and platform advertising revenue. Doesn't matter. Building a business model that...
Why did you have to keep it a secret that you talked to the lawyers and Karen Reed? Why did you lie and create this whole big concoction of how this all truly came about? And that's not how it came out. Why? Because why? Because she was your only source. They were your only sources. They gave you shit to go with, and that's all you did. You didn't fucking go and vet it and get another person to have an independent source as well. So you had two, and then you're going forward with that. People back the Karen Reed movement because the Karen Reed movement was allegedly a independent grassroots fucking organic thing. Okay? That's what it was alleged to have been. And we thought we were fighting corruption. But here, you, motherfucker, and with the lawyers, deceived everybody that paid into the defense fund, thinking it was what I just said, and it wasn't. Karen Reed gets arrested for the second time because she was getting indicted. They were upping the charges to murder. And Karen Reed wanted to talk and said, I want to talk. She said she wanted to tell her story. She wanted to talk. She also said some very key, interesting phrases where she said, hey, Dad, you know that thing I sent you? That's the latest revision. Get that out to everyone. Get that out to everyone. I'm not wasting another day.
Depends on the perpetuation of false accusations against private citizens. No, I have made money and built such a big audience on this because the message resonates with people, because I'm standing up for what's right. And I'm showing the facts, and I'm standing up to corruption. And believe it or not, Tim, people like that. You would know better than anyone. You've built your entire business on it, of being a truth teller. We have every reason to believe that Carney's purpose in appearing on your program, we already read that. Here, this is it. We have every reason to believe Carney's purpose in appearing on your program is not to engage in a good faith discussion about the legal proceedings in his own conduct. But to you don't know anything about why I'd want to go on there. But to use your substantial audience, which dwarfs his own.
It does. It does. He's got like almost 3 million subscribers. Okay. Aiden Carney has 165. You know what's crazy? Is if you actually sit back and you like really think about this, how the fuck does Aiden only have 160,000 sub count? when he was the free Karen Reed movement. It's because he can't get out of his own way. Howard, how have you not grown? If you actually want to go and check his stats, go and see how stagnant he's been at the same number, which is 163,000 on YouTube. He has been on that number forever. Forever. That means it's the same. That's the same clientele base. There's no new people. He doesn't cover anything he doesn't have any substance. He doesn't have any content. He only talks about and makes fun of people that are in his Karen Reed orbit. And that's it. He called Karen Reed a fucking cunt. He went off on Karen Reed. He recorded her illegally. He committed a felony. He committed multiple felonies with wiretapping. But here he recorded Karen Reed and put it out. And how he put it out was he sent the recording in a Proton email to actually Karen Reed and her fucking attorneys as an anonymous person. Why would anybody do that? Well, because it was like an arm play. Like you might want to fucking do my documentary because I have a lot more where that came from. He lied and said that Meredith sent it and he fucking framed people. He frames people every single day for stupid shit. Can't even believe he fucking put me in his stupid fucking shit with Meredith and said that, and it made it seem like one of my videos that I made. He lies in an affidavit and tells the courts that Meredith put it out there and that Meredith leaked the grand jury minutes of Lindsay Gaetani. Get the fuck out of here. Then Meredith wasn't even known to me. Never spoken to that girl in my life. Meredith, you're wrong. And I said, oh yeah, come. I can't wait for my fucking subpoena. Fucking idiot. He lied. He commits perjury all the time. That's all this motherfucker does. All he does. And I say to myself, you think Alan Jackson and David Yannetti would just start talking to some random guy who just comes along on April 12th or 17th? No. And that's the lie, is that they're telling the world that Aiden just came along in April of 2023. Aiden just didn't come along in April of 2023. Aiden had a totally different phone number and had a totally different phone. And Aiden got rid of that phone. But guess what? Lana figured that out. And Lana sent some information and as a tip. And said, all you have to do is get a third-party subpoena, which in the civil case will be the easiest thing to do. But Aiden's over here admitting to having a 401 number, right? Go ahead and get Lucky's phone records. Go ahead and get Scanlon's phone records and see what number called them back in the month that all took place. And then run your stuff off of that. Get that phone number and start running some shit off of that.
Republish the same defamatory statements that from the core of the pending action while reaching a new pool of viewers and generating new revenue.
Thank you. And it's the truth. I've been caught. Let me show you guys something. I went out and bought this piece of shit's book. Okay, because I know he's a dumbass. This motherfucker has basically a playbook. What the hell is that piece of shit book? Oh, here it is. I Am Turtle Boy. Look at this fucking shit. I Am Turtle Boy. I mean, nothing's original. Everything is crap. His own book states what the fuck he does, okay? And he says right here, when I was on the Dennis and Callahan show, they asked me how we are able to get information the rest of the media can't get. The answer is simple. Anonymity. Anonymity. This motherfucker just outs you. Anonymity, my ass. He says, we have a solid reputation in the community as the voice of the people. If you have a story that you think needs to be told and you either don't want the attention that comes along with it or don't have the reach that we have, then you can come to Turtle Boy and we will tell your story for you. And that's exactly what he did. He told Karen Reed's story for her exactly how she wanted it out there. And he obeyed everything that Alan Jackson, David Nettie, they all had to sign off on everything. And it was always, hey, did you get this person's approval, blah, blah. He did no investigative journalism, none. He did not do any FOIA requests. He did not do any public requests. He did nothing. All he did was fucking get on Karen Reed's tit and sucky sucky. Okay? Karen Reed's your mama. Okay? And you can pretend to be somebody's daddy, but you're nobody's fucking daddy. He's a fucking idiot. He's a criminal. And in his stupid fucking book, he outs his plays. And so I read this whole fucking thing and I'm like, this is the most narcissistic motherfucker. And he can't just help but talk about shit and tell on himself.
There you have it, folks. He said it. He said the silent part out loud. He does not want.
And now he's using my words. He said the silent part out loud. That's what I wrote. That's what I write in tweets. He said the silent part out loud.
They do not want me reaching a new pool of viewers. They fear that more than anything. They do not want anyone knowing about. They don't want Tim Pool's substantial audience knowing about what they've done. A Twitter DM to a reporter from a major news station asking him to take down a tweet mentioning that John O'Keefe's body was found on Brian Albert's lawn. They did not want anyone knowing. The less eyes on them, the better.
Where's that coming from? Him. Everything he says is a lie. Don't believe that shit.
Carney has continued his defamation campaign by publicly and falsely describing our clients as cop killers. I don't know if I've said that this week, but I've certainly said that many times. And bragging that he had exposed who the fuck they are and what they did. God forbid. God forbid. Based on his documented conduct, and any such appearance on your show presents a concrete risk that specific false and legally actionable statements about our clients will be broadcast on your platform. Notice that he has yet to mention the most important fact here, that Karen Reed has been acquitted of these crimes. And therefore,
you guys, Karen Reed being acquitted has nothing to do with fucking dick. Okay, nothing to do with dick. Karen Reed was found not guilty based on the words reasonable doubt. Okay.
John O'Keefe's killers are free. Your platform's potential legal.
Nobody will be ever sitting in that defendant's chair because the investigation was so, it was sloppy. And I think the reason it was sloppy, what it would look like is sloppy, is because it was being labeled as like an accident, you know? And so it's like, if someone's going to be accepting responsibility that it was like an accident, are we talking about plea deal here? What was truly going on between, February and June of 2022? And then when Karen Reed gets arrested and charged with that she hit him on purpose. So if you're listening to those voicemails, I mean, who the fuck would ever leave those type of voicemails if you just didn't feel good and you're just going to go home? Or if you're just sitting out there and your boyfriend doesn't come back out to the car for a while, you just start calling every minute on the minute and saying the most wild shit immediately. You fucking pervert. Fuck you, John. I fucking hate you. It's like, what the fuck? If you're truly at someone's house and you're just waiting for them, wouldn't you just if you really wanted him to come with you, wouldn't you go and just get him? And then when you do the math, you realize at 12:33, there's no way that she could be sitting outside of 34 Fairview and then be on the Wi-Fi by 12:36. So where was she on the route home that she felt the need to call him but then she's feeling the need to tell everybody else, so much so that Alan Jackson writes it in a an affidavit, and over here saying that Karen Reed's always maintained, and then says that she dropped him off at 34 Fairview. She waited. He didn't come out, so then she calls him. He says she calls him several times. He doesn't answer, and then she gets frustrated, and then she leaves. Okay, and I'm like, so I'm taking it off of how if Alan Jackson wants to marry those statements, I was shocked because I'm like, did he not look at the evidence? The evidence says that Karen Reed's on the home Wi-Fi of John O'Keefe at 12:36. The first of the several calls begin at 12:33. I'm like, she could have been sitting outside when she started that, let alone when she would have been almost to like call 3, leave it, call. Like it was like literally call, hang up, call right back. And then every so often there'd be like a new message. And I'm just like, but she never called. That means, understand this. That means she never called before she pulled away. And that doesn't make any sense. You understand? You don't pull away and then decide I'm going to call in like halfway home just so I can say, fuck you, motherfucker. I personally think that she was drinking. I think that they are all drinking. We watched them drinking. But I believe that there's enough evidence there that says that she dropped him off on Oakdale. And right now, that's like a big part of my reasonable doubt. If I was a juror in that room and seen that shit.
Exposure. We draw your attention to the well-established principle that a broadcaster or publisher who permits a third party to defame another with knowledge or reason to know of the defamatory character of their statements may itself be liable for the harm caused. Chapter.
Turtle Boy, this is a question you should ask Tim, and you should really ask yourself. It was not a live broadcast, so Tim could have edited the fuck out of your interview and taken everything out, okay? He gets to edit this son of a bitch, okay? Because it's a pre-record. Understand? So y'all could have still done this, right? Y'all could have still had this pre-record, right? And then he could have sat on it and sat on it and sat on it and then put it out there when he wanted to, right? Or never put it out there at all, okay? But what it tells me is this man feels like whatever your conversations were, there was going to be no talk. Nothing could be gleaned. If like, that's just all that this is going to be about. So why am I even doing this interview? Right. But if this man is so much all about like, you're not supposed to be censoring people, freedom of speech, like this man that you're going on his platform and he does this, why don't you think about it? Why don't you read the fucking room? You're not fucking playing in a cesspool anymore in your fucking backyard in fucking Canton, Mass. Okay? I think the worst thing that you can do is try to take this outside of your little bubble. And that's why you won't debate me. That is why you will not debate me in your own case and in the Karen Reed case. Because when it comes to the facts of the case and the timeline of everything that you're involved with and what you did, you don't have any answers. And everybody on your platform will see me spank the living fucking shit out of you with very kind words and actually facts. Because we're just going to talk about the case. All you want to do is make fun of people. He makes fun of people left and right. That's all he does. He makes fun of the clothing that they wear. I don't even know what that life is like, buddy. I have way too much shit to talk about and do that to talk about what people wear. He's the last person, by the way, that should be talking about somebody.
What is it? 270? That platforms are not responsible for the speech of people on their platforms. Is that chapter? Forget it. I forget. I used to know that one real well.
You're an idiot.
But no, he's not responsible for that.
But think about it. It's a pre-recorded interview. He could have just edited whatever he wanted out of there. He doesn't want to be associated with you. That's what he did. The message and why he could have just said this was like somebody put out that this was like a scheduling conflict, blah, blah. This man, Tim, doesn't want his name associated with you. Now, Dan, we won't even go there. We won't even go there. Why don't you try it? Why don't you go talk to Candace Owens? I want Candace Owens to cover your case. I wrote her a personal email saying the only reason I wanted to cover your case is because she was sued in a very same fashion that like how you were sued. She's calling somebody that's she believes was born a man. And anyways, but I would love Candace Owens to open up your ass. I mean, I think I'm doing a perfectly fine job, with it, but you give everybody that's an independent journalist like myself, this is the reputation that I'm not like this man. I would never be like this man. This man does not have boundaries. This man is a liability and he's dangerous. So when people would say like, yeah, I'm afraid of you, it's because of you don't have anything to lose. I believe that you're a sociopath. You are dangerous because your speech riles up the people that watch you are criminals. You have ratchet madness. You fucking go and you try to expose people that have drug problems, hooking problems, all this stuff, ratchets, and you just make fun of them. And and then you go and get their fucking personal records and you put them out there, and it's like, dude, all you do is beat up on people when they're like at their low lights, like whatever's going on in life. Then in order for like, if you don't want me to blog about you, then give me something I'll blog about somebody else type of shit. And I saw that stuff in Pennsylvania and I was like, yeah, no thanks. I've seen this rodeo before. And then here it comes to a Boston police officer's murder case, and you bring Ratchetville into this fucking shit. You turned a Boston police officer's murder case, investigation, proceeding, everything, into straight trash. When you have unhinged people in his orbit and the way that he speaks to them, you have no idea who the fuck could come up to any one of those people that, he's calling and saying all these things that they are murderers and blah, blah. He attacked Allie McCabe and Colin Albert. Colin Albert was an athlete going and playing football at Bridgewater State. I'm going to come to every one of your practices. I'm going to come to one of every your games. I'm going to come to your school every day. And because for what purpose? Well, because I'm going to make sure that everybody knows that you're a cop killer. Like, you're toast with that. You ruin that dude's life. And you don't play God, motherfucker. Everybody is entitled to the cloak of innocence until proven guilty. Who is this motherfucker to go around telling people that they're guilty? They have the same cloak of innocence that fucking Karen Reed and any of us should be afforded. Who the fuck does this man think he is? Well, he took to his platform and said that none of you people deserve to live peacefully. These are his words. He's going to prison for a long time. He is going to get 20 years. And if he's finishes his certificates, and if he does, if he behaves, he will serve 9.5 to 11.5 years. That's what's coming. Because what judge is going to give a man a slap on the wrist in a enhanced, this is normally just 10 years per witness intimidation count. Because it's a murder case, it's 20 years per count. What judge is going to sentence somebody and just give them what? Nothing, no time. You can have what? 3 years probation. Is that what you think you're going to get? You're out of your mind. You're out of your mind. You are going to be made an example out of, as you should be. It was a Boston cops murder case. And you lied about talking to Karen Reed, about talking to Alan Jackson, about talking to David Giannetti, about all the information. You used basically a fake federal investigation. Why I call it a fake one is because how it originated and got started, so that you could, and that was designed so that then you could use it to go at these witnesses and threaten and harass and intimidate them and influence them because of, the Fed, now the feds are involved. The feds are there. Hey, Jennifer, you had 2 black trucks outside your house, blah, 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 da, 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 blah, blah, blah. The feds are, there's a federal investigation, da, da, da. That's all we heard about. Fed. Just because he was fed that shit. And Karen Reed's like, why aren't you talking about the federal investigation more? What the fuck are you doing? Talk about the federal investigation. You're a fucking errand boy.
Okay? You're allowed to have people on to share their opinions, regardless of whether or not they're controversial. And if you feel I'm defaming you on your on Tim Pool's platform, then you can sue me. But the problem is they're already suing me. And they're trying to make him scared that they're going to sue him too. And he doesn't know shit about this. So that's why we're giving Tim Pool an education into this.
It says your platform's potential legal exposure.
Silenced or threatened. It has advance notice of a guest established pattern of defamatory conduct. So says you.
Look at this shit.
The restatement of torts provides that one who repeats or otherwise republishes defamatory matter is subject to liability as if he had originally published it, but he's not the one repeating it. I am. Further provides that one who...
Do you not read, Turtle Boy? It says one who repeats or otherwise republishes. It's a pre-recorded thing. Then he is going to publish it. You dumb fuck.
Broadcast defamatory matter by means of radio or television is subject to the same liability as any other publisher. Courts applying these principles have consistently held that a platform's liability is not turned on whether it's generated the defamatory statement, but whether it's brought. You have no idea how many people went online and said Karen Reed is a murderer. No idea. She's been convicted of the same crimes that the McAlberts have been. Nothing. Well, DUI. Chris has one of. Chris doesn't have one, but probably would have if he had actually stopped instead of fleeing the scene when he killed Peter Berger.
So that's even makes my Karen Reed got a DUI, right? Yes. So then, Lana, your theory about Karen Reed not knowing where she was when she dropped John O'Keefe off and that she was actually on Oakdale because that's where they got lost before he pumped it. Yeah, that makes my shit go way skyrocket because she got that DUI. Because she was fucking drunk. She was hammered. And she was seeing red. Hello, do you hear those fucking voicemails? Think about someone seeing red and remembering where the fuck. Come on, you guys. She got up in the morning and she went to the Waterfall Bar. She did not get up in the morning and go to 34 Fairview. She got up in the morning and went to the Waterfall Bar. Why? Because for whatever reason, she thinks John O'Keefe's a pair of keys and she just has to retrace her steps. She went there because I think that that's her last memory when she woke up. Who the fuck knows? It doesn't make any sense.
In West Virginia, so they've done this letter right here, but they reaffirmed that the publication to a third party is the operative act giving rise to defamation liability, and all participate in that publication bear responsibility proportionate.
This is the same guy that represented the Sandy Hook victims. Turtle Boy is so fucked. This guy is so smooth. Chris Maddie is so fucking smooth. You need to see his closing arguments. You need to see the way that he cross-examined. It's Aiden, you're toast. And anybody fucking paying into a fund, I hope you're just doing it just so you can see the ass beating in court, because what a waste of money to donate to something like this to him when you can donate to somebody that, like, any charity for a child. How about somebody that needs Christmas presents, that's has their kids in the freaking, you know, having chemo for leukemia? I mean, Jesus.
To their involvement and knowledge. The Fourth Circuit held similarly, where the court concluded that publishers have reason to know that they should refrain from publishing the statements at issue or not shielded from defamation actions.
I believe that the Canton Police Department was on it from jump with the questionable shit that they did the entire morning, to even show that, like, the garage door couldn't be closed. Karen Reed's vehicle was available to be, you know, as far as getting at the taillight. And then they drive up to do the wellness check at 8:30. They put the, you know, the dash cams right up there, and it gets right on that taillight. And then Paul Gallagher goes over to the wrong places. He goes over to One Meadows, and there's Ring camera missing. Okay. And it's like, if you think anybody was setting and doing anything up to Karen Reed, it's definitely happening by the Canton Police Department and by anybody that would have access to the Canton Police Department. And for Karen Reed to hide Higgins in all of this, and then go to his house with her PI in September of 2023, thinking that Higgins is going to talk to her, not 2022, you know, which would make a little bit sense. 2023. And then the other thing that just blows my mind is that, how do you, if you're Karen Reed, not get into all of these people's faces in terms of being on the phone, being like, what happened over there? You know, how did John end up in the lawn? Like, what the heck? I drop him off there, and this is what the fuck happens. Like, I would have been calling up Brian, you know, all these people, Higgins. None of that stuff takes place. The only person that Karen Reed talks to, now granted, she did get, you know, a psych hold for like 2 hours or whatever, from like whatever time to like about noon, maybe not even. But after that, and then they took her phone, but there were these times that, and then even when you get a new phone, whatever, it's just, you're calling and calling, John's not answering. And then when you wake up in the morning, why aren't you saying that? Why aren't you texting Higgins? Why aren't you calling Higgins? He was with y'all. That doesn't, something's off there. In my opinion.
We acknowledge that platforms hosting live or real-time programming have invoked certain defenses in this area of law. But those defenses are grounded in the absence of advance notice and the impossibility of meaningful editorial review. So, lesson learned here. Next time, what would they have done if I just went on? What would they have done if I just went on and not said a word?
Nothing. Who knows?
Now, lesson learned. Don't say a word. This is going to
What do you mean lesson learned? You knew this.
happen every time I try to do a live show in a theater. I know this is a fact because they're doing it already. And anywhere, if I announce I'm doing a show somewhere, I have to sell tickets. So I got to announce it, right? What do you think they're going to do? They are going to try to make it impossible for me to talk to large audiences about this. It wouldn't surprise me if they used Google to try to get me kicked off YouTube. What is the difference? I mean, what is the difference? Right? Why aren't they sending a letter like this to YouTube? If
Maybe they will.
Tim Pool hosted me on his show and I said the things that I say on my channel, then they're going to sue him, right? So why aren't they suing YouTube? Because I don't own this platform. YouTube does. Google does. So why aren't they suing Google? Why aren't they suing YouTube? Because they know YouTube's going to look at that and say, go fuck yourself.
It's such a lie.
They're not going to be bullied by that. Tim Pool doesn't know shit about Karen Reed. The fuck does he know? He doesn't know me from shit.
Then why is he having
He doesn't
you
follow
on?
any of this stuff.
Wait, hold on. Think about this.
What does he know?
Then why would he have you on? if he's not interested in it, if he's not, who is he doing a favor for? Why the fuck would he have you on? And you see how easy it was for him to just be like, okay, yep, sorry, can't be doing that. You know what I mean? Like, I'm good. Like, you're not work. It's like, what the fuck? That doesn't make any sense. Who wanted to have this happen more? You or him? It seems like this was a favor.
Oh, for all he knows, I am making shit up. You know? What? Yeah. Don't give them ideas. Oh, believe me, you don't think they thought of that? You don't think they thought of that?
He's such a fucking idiot.
I'll never be silenced.
He's
Ever.
such a fucking idiot.
Give me your worst.
Man.
Give me your best shot.
He's like
I'll never be
Shirilla.
silenced. I will stand on a goddamn street corner with a megaphone.
He's Shirilla.
You will never silence me. Ever.
Shirilla the
I will
killer.
find another platform. There is nothing you can ever do to shut me up. Ever. Ever. You will have to literally cut my tongue out of my mouth to shut me up. Yeah.
Anyways. That's my favorite when he's like, and there's that. Anyways.
What we are asking.
Just bouncing right back. Like, you know, just what's the next thing I can talk? Okay, let's continue on. Fucking A, that cracks me up. What we are asking. Oh.
We are asked that you review the enclosed complaint in full so that you understand the scope and specificity of the claims pending against Mr. Carney, and consult with counsel regarding your personal and your company's potential exposure as a republisher of defamatory content under applicable law. We hope that after those steps conclude that hosting Mr. Carney is neither in your interest nor in the public interest. So
think about that. Right there. He doesn't say, if you fucking have him on, we're suing you. Okay. He's like, just here you go. We're providing you all this information. We want to make sure that you know what you're getting yourself into. Here you go. And think about this. It wasn't going to be a live. It was going to be a pre-recorded, totally could be edited. And this man said, no, he wasn't going to do it. That should tell you everything. Because he has he doesn't talk about anything else. He doesn't know anything else. He doesn't have a good personality. He can't just like shoot the shit and like just like go and have a beer and like fucking talk about. No. You think that this man can do that? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. The only thing he talks about is him, Karen, Karen's case, his case, Karen case, his case, him. He's a fucking snooze fest.
Yeah. Well, in your interest. Yeah. That's a threat. This is a threat.
This isn't a threat. However, if you choose to proceed, we ask that you take reasonable editorial precautions to prevent Mr. Carney from repeating specific false factual allegations about our clients. In particular, any allegation that they murdered, concealed the murder of, or framed Karen Reed for the murder of John O'Keefe. How fucking difficult is that? How fucking difficult is that? I would love to know if they had a talk and maybe Aiden was like, fuck that, I'm not doing it then. I mean, you just can't say those three things.
Rat. This is bullying. This is thug behavior.
This is bullying. This is thug behavior. No, it's canceled culture. That's what I think it is. And I think it's ironic as fuck. You say you love cancel culture. You're getting canceled slowly. And it's a slow bleed. But I think probably if somebody wanted to, I think that they could probably even revoke your bail. And I'm kind of shocked that hasn't happened. Because I don't think it is in the public's interest. It's in the taxpayers' interest that Aiden Carney's case, he was arrested in 2023. How does a man not already have a trial yet? He was arrested in October of 2023. You're not going to have a trial until over 3 fucking years has gone past. Think about that. Karen Reed was tried for murder twice. John O'Keefe was murdered in accident murder 2022 January. Karen Reed was tried in 24 and 25. This motherfucker, that's murder. This pussy, he's been doing the typical defendant, guilty defendant stall. Drag this out as long as you can. I bet you wouldn't be doing that if you were in fucking jail right now being held. You wouldn't be stalling.
Lawyers. A threat.
No, you're just a liar.
Better not have him on, or else we're gonna hurt you.
Where?
Wouldn't want that, would you? Huh?
Hurt you?
Better-
Look at this fucking. Look at. He's hoping. He's saying all this stuff and he doesn't want to read it. This is why he's not reading it, because he thinks that he's said it before. The people that watch him are dumb. That's why he's not reading any of it. Read the words. Our clients have endured years of harassment, threats, and reputational destruction because they did what every citizen is asked to do. They came forward, told the truth, and cooperated with law enforcement. They deserve, at minimum, not to have the lies told about them amplified further by a media platform with millions of subscribers. We are available to speak with you or your counsel at your convenience and can provide you with additional documentation as appropriate. Please do not hesitate to contact us. I personally believe that this was an awesome letter. This isn't threats. This is somebody and they're not trying to cancel you. Have him on. Have him on. We ask these things. You know, the McCabe's and the Alberts, and ever since the Karen Reed case has been over, we all knew this was coming. And if you didn't, I don't know what fucking world people are living in. I knew this was coming. You know, Jay for Justice over there thinks she can run her fucking mouth about me and call me Alana Epstein. It's pretty crazy. I haven't heard that name, said that name in fucking years. Meanwhile, that girl's over there in CrimeCon right now committing felonies.
Back down. They got what they wanted today. They definitely got what they wanted today. And if he doesn't have me back on, if he doesn't post,
they're gonna have the wins are gonna start going their way. They've sat back and haven't said a word and done anything since 2022. Right? And then 2023, 2024, 2025, 2026.
on me, then they win. And if he doesn't have me back on, if he doesn't postpone me, then they win, right? There's no doubt about it. They win. And so that's up to Tim. That's up to Tim. I have full faith that he is not going to back down after reading this. And I took his tweet to be like telling people sarcastically, don't follow him. That's telling the McAlberts to go fuck yourself. I want people to follow him now. That don't tell me what I can't do. You think he's happy about this? Fuck no.
Do you see the delusion?
Following the advice of counsel for now. If you choose to proceed, we ask that you take reasonable editorial precautions to prevent Mr. Carney from repeating specific false factual allegations about our clients. In particular, any allegation that they murdered, concealed the murder of, or framed Karen Reed for the murder of John O'Keefe. I mean, is Howie Carr going to talk about this too? Remember Howie Carr used to care about this stuff? I wonder what he would think of something like this. How come he never got a letter like this? Because Howie Carr would tell him to pound sand. Our clients have endured years of harassment, threats, and reputational destruction because they did what every citizen is asked to do. They came forward, they told the truth, and they cooperated with law enforcement. Funniest shit I've ever read. They deserve as a minimum not to have their lies told about them amplified further by a media platform with millions of subscribers. There it is, folks. And there's the magic word. Platform with millions of subscribers. That's the only reason they care about him. That's the only reason they care about him. That's it. So please read the complaint. And what we will probably send him soon is our motion to dismiss. You can get a case dismissed if you are petitioning the government. And that is exactly what we have done. This is not about harassment or witness intimidation. This is about holding the government accountable, holding a corrupt politician by the name of Michael Morrissey, an entrenched Democratic machine-backed candidate who has been in office since 1976. He served as a state representative.
If you would have kept it about the government, none of this would be happening to you. If you would have kept it about the government, none of this would be happening to you. If you would have attacked the investigation, if you would have, and that's what the lawyers should have just stuck to. Instead, Karen Reed wanted this campaign, and you'd have to ask yourselves why. And that's what I'm going to start breaking down over the next couple of weeks. And I'm going to show you this case from before Alan Jackson came on. And I have all the discovery to see what was available. Okay. And do you know that in the first trial, Alan Jackson and Karen Reed's team, they did not try to go and get that chip off. They did not put forth any effort to really get their hands on the data of the Lexus. And if I knew that I didn't hit anybody, it'd be like, yeah, we want to show that there's no crash report. There's no nothing on this Lexus, right? And in fact, the opposite happens in round 2, and Shannon Burgess finds it and is able to do, because Trooper Paul's not good enough, find something. They've talked with Burla, whatever. They get that chip. And that chip is what changed everything. Because when I was going through these documents, all this new shit, and actually laying it out and not being blinded, what they tried to discredit Shannon Burgess finding with that chip is a fucking LinkedIn and in a CV. In his what do you call it? Like an outdated CV / think about that. All right, guys, we'll see you on the next one. This man, cray. Him and Molly, they can share a room. Him and Shrilla, they can share a room. Absolutely crazy. Again, see you on the next one. JC Music Man, love when you're here. Got a good head on your shoulders. I personally believe that who's ever in that defendant's chair for the murder of John O'Keefe would be found not guilty based on reasonable doubt. Reasonable doubt. Grow up. Grow up, Molly.